Hello and welcome to DCP Live episode number 223. End of January episode. Right?
223.
223. That's
How many of these are we going to do?
Good question, man. Did we get like a punch card? You know,
I don't know.
Honestly, you
every 10 is a
should
free
really
one.
do 46 more.
46 more,
If I
yeah.
got my math right.
Quick
What's
math,
nice?
269.
It'd be nice.
269.
Yeah.
Quick math, that's
Or
69.
what was it? 43?
Nice.
243 more. Then it would be perfect. Actually, no,
I want to
never
make
mind.
it to
It was close.
42,069.
I've already brought the spreadsheet.
That's what I was trying to like.
podcast.
Yeah, I was
love
making a leap to there, and then I realized it was way farther.
That's a lot of podcasts. I don't know
Yeah, I
if we'll be
think we'd
playing
have to make
Destiny for 42,000
all the way to 6,969. That's the real end
We could
game.
all try and make sure we go to the same old folks' home, and then we could do IRL podcast every week.
I like that
This-
idea.
Yeah.
From the
Regardless of if we're still doing the podcast, it'd be fun to go to an old folks
but-
home with your
No, it would
friends.
be fun.
Briar, I'm going to warn you, Briar's going to spill his prune juice on
Everywhere.
like
Table,
your
floor,
newspaper, your
constantly.
mahjong table, whatever. Like, yeah.
Why is,
Yeah.
Be careful.
why is the mahjong so sticky? Ah, Briar.
Spill my prune juice. Sorry.
Sounds like a great time.
I'm
And they
in.
let you get up to no good when you're old. They're like, it's just old. Don't
Oh
worry
yeah,
about
you
just
can get
old
away with
shenanigans.
anything.
Right?
it.
Why is he walking around naked? He's old.
He's old.
Yeah. There-
And there'll be
it's like-
someone saying, they're so cute.
Did you guys all watch Curb Your Enthusiasm? I always think.
Oh,
of Curb
God,
and
yes.
Seinfeld. Remember that episode where he goes? It's the kamikaze episode, and he goes to visit his. I think it's that one. But they're playing bingo, and his father's in, the assisted living, and he goes, but his dad is watching porn at like 500 decibels. And everybody's walking around like it's normal. It's like the most lewd, awful stuff. And he walks in. He's like, "Dad, what are you doing?" He's like, "Shh, quiet. You're gonna ruin it." It's like, we can't do this.
That's
I
amazing.
can't watch this with you. It's so funny.
Oh,
Well.
man.
This might as well be the 6,969th podcast.
It's good to have you
Yes.
back, friend. We haven't talked about porn in forever.
Been ages, man.
I should have never brought it up. I know. Now I'm remembering the last
Wait,
time.
is that what Fran's moonlighting as now?
No, definitely not. Although in my chat we did come up with, I don't know if this is really directly related, but they came up with Franny Silverhand or Johnny Silverfran.
I
Which
like
I
that.
was like, for like a rock star, like alternate ego. Oh, yes.
I'm 100% on board.
Yeah.
It's been so long, Fran. I kind of want to ask you, like, what have you been
Yeah.
up to lately?
Man, yeah, it's been about a month. Of course, I've been watching and keep an eye on you guys. I'm sure we've interacted across Twitter or whatnot, at least. But yeah, we haven't talked in person. It's funny. I got into Tarkov right around when we last dropped off. That's been
You did.
big. Nobody else here is playing that, right?
No, I realized when I was watching your stream, I was like, wow, I actually have no idea what Tarkov is. I realized, I was like, I thought I knew. I have no idea. It's like a secret society no one talks about. They're like, yeah, I play Tarkov. What is it?
First rule of Tarkov: don't talk about
Yeah.
Tarkov.
I've been wanting to get into it forever, but as you know, I have like complete vault anxiety. My vault is always full. My spreadsheets are always, not updated. So I was like, I can't touch this. But a wipe happened, and what a wipe is, they reset everybody back to level 0.
They've
And so
done
you
that
get a
multiple
fair
times,
shake. And-
too.
Yeah, and it's a beta game. It's insane. That's the easiest way to put it. It is a insanely like trying to be real tactical strategy RPG shooter, and you can play on a team up to 5, or you can go solo. But there's no matchmaking with the same teams. You might be solo against like Dr. Lupo and 4 other people, and it's like not a good situation. Anyway, so
I
got
like
into
my
that.
chances.
Better get
And it was
good,
pain.
right?
Every time I talk about it, you'll see in chat, and it's true. It's pain, but that's what makes it fun. So,
Nice.
but it's cool.
What's
We
good
should,
about it? What do you
The
like about
coolest part Yeah, I forget how I said it previously, but it's at its best when you're lying in the grass and the audio is so detailed. You hear like the birds chirping in the summer air, and you have bullets in the distance, and you hear a rustle next to you, and you're like, oh crap, there's somebody near me. And you got to figure out, because one shot could take an arm out, take a leg out, at individual limbs. It's amazing, the detail. You might get shot in the thorax, and you're like, "Ugh," and you'll hear the person wheezing. It's really incredible at that. It's at its worst when you're like, I don't know where to go and what to do. I don't know what I'm doing because the game does not tell you at all. So it's perfect if you want to make like guides for people and tell people how to play it.
Nice.
But most people play it with other people.
I've seen you have to medicate yourself, right, in various areas to get shot. Like if your arm gets shot, you have to actually repair it.
Every level, you have to understand if you have a heavy bleed and what to use. You have to understand like if you have a fracture. One of the first things I did was, it's like Call of Duty to me, you know, I'm on a little rooftop and it's right down to the next level, right? I jumped out, I was like, I broke both my legs. I'm like, ah! and I had no splints and I'm like trying to crawl my way to the extract. And so that's why it's at its best. It's at its worst when you're staring at your inventory and you're like, it's crazy too. You don't have enough space for everything. And if you don't like organizing your vault, stay away from the game. But anyway. It's cool. We should try it maybe for the next wipe or something, but it is a challenge because it's not free. So you got to decide to invest.
Sure.
It's a beta.
Nice.
But
man.
yeah, how have you guys been?
Good.
Real good.
Yeah.
You ever have a day? I'm having one of those days today where just everything goes your way, like everything.
That was is this your fault, Briar? Is that why my day went so?
I used up all your
terrible?
luck. Maybe.
Yeah, I saw
It all
Watts
went to
tweet
you
about
for your
medium.
great day, and I'm here like this is the worst day.
Like I woke up this morning and my mother came over for coffee, and we did. You know what we did is we're being very careful with my mother right now because she's undergoing cancer treatment, so we're like really concerned that she's gonna get COVID. So even though like nobody in our family has COVID. It's just in case, right?
You got to assume that you do.
So what we did was we parked our cars like cops do in my driveway, where you're kind of facing each other but diagonally, so you can sit in your car and talk to each other. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And then we had
smart.
coffee, and we were just kind of chatting. It was just really nice to see my mother. I haven't seen her. I haven't been able to talk to her in a while, or like be in her presence in a while, and that was nice.
That's awesome.
And then I cleaned the house, which really it needed, and that sounds like a chore, but like it was really satisfying to get done. And then I played some video games, and now I'm sitting here with my friends talking about Destiny, and we got like a huge
a ton
twab
of
to talk
news.
about.
We got a
do.
big
So
old
much news.
victim.
Yeah,
Yep.
This twab's got a dumpy.
It's a dumpy.
it is.
But
It is.
Briar, you stole Watts' luck apparently. That's the first time I've
Yeah.
actually seen Watts in a long time. Just like arg, like for like several
I know.
tweets, like I
It's
hate this.
just like 4 hours of going through every single thing humanly possible.
Yeah,
And then I was like, I'm grabbing the Xbox. I brought it in.
and that worked
that's
fine. So
clarity.
this was medium. You couldn't get medium running on your.
I couldn't get
PC.
medium to work on PC. Anytime I would go to play the game, it would come up with a bunch of UE4 errors and stuff. And I was like, okay, so I went through all the normal stuff that you do, the uninstalling, reinstalling, trying different drives, downloading drivers, re-downloading drivers. Like I did everything that anyone could possibly suggest. And then I was
Yeah.
like, well, I'm going to just play on Xbox.
You proved console players' point is what you did.
All right.
That's the
Honestly, I was
moment they
like,
knew.
I'm done with PC gaming. It's over.
Yeah.
No more. If it's out on a console, I'm going to play it on a console. If I have to steal it from the living room, I will do so.
That's been my general vibe lot since like November when the new consoles came out. Like I haven't really played much PC gaming because I've just been really focused on playing on the new consoles just because they're new and like I just want to use them.
And they look great. Games look great on them, which is so
Yeah.
nice. It's so nice to have a console option that's just, it runs really well. It looks beautiful. It's so good.
Yeah,
It's really nice that
I've been
you
feeling
can
that.
upgrade your old games on them too. Like so, even if you're playing like a PS4 game or an Xbox One game, a lot of them look better on the new consoles.
Yeah,
which is
I've been
nice.
feeling that with playing on a TV again, and it's just really nice with the PS5,
Yeah.
knowing that pretty much everything's going to run at 4K, and it looks fantastic. And like I'm playing Hitman on there, looks fantastic. Like obviously Destiny looks fantastic at 4K 60, and it's it's
does.
nice. It's really nice to have that option because before it was like, yeah, it's cool play on console, but then you're like sacrificing graphics or like frame rate or something like that. Now it finally feels like you don't really have to sacrifice much, if at all.
No.
And I was saying on the pre-show about HDR. HDR, I think right now is considerably easier on console than if you were to do HDR on PC. Because I tried fiddling with it and it was just was not happy. Like the colors just weren't transferring correctly, even though HDR was on. My TV was like, yeah, this is HDR, totally, yeah.
I'll tell you too, Tefty, it's gotten way better. Like what you're experiencing on PC now with HDR is way better than it was like a year or two ago.
That's crazy, man.
It was incredibly difficult to even get running a little while ago. And now at least it runs.
It's odd that on the most advanced platform, it's the
pain
worst.
in the ass.
You know, it's not plug and play, which again, you know, proves a lot of like console players are like, this is exactly why I don't.
I mean,
play
it's
on PC.
true, right? It's like with console, you kind of know what you're gonna get with your experience. You get it and you throw it on.
Yeah.
And for the most part, with PC, it's like, you know, game works well, great for this person, works terribly for this person. Is it gonna work good for you? Who freaking knows?
Yeah.
Your stuff's out of date.
Especially on
Things are
launch
breaking
day.
down.
Yeah.
Launch day especially.
Yeah. So
sure.
it does feel kind of nice to just be like a launch day game. I can just get it on a console. It'll probably just be totally fine.
Yeah, I've wanted to get a Series X and I haven't yet, but Medium definitely made me want to like have the Series X because if I want to play with like a nice experience, I have to move my PC around the house. And that's a pain in the ass.
Much more difficult than grabbing this thing and just
That's why we need
Xbox.
Yep.
This is why we need cross save on everything, like everything, no matter whether you you know.
Is cross save on Medium?
I have
Probably not.
no idea.
It could be. I mean, I guess if it's on Games Pass, maybe it is, huh? I don't know. Yeah,
I don't know.
Maybe it is. Should be
Because it is on Game Pass for both Xbox and PC.
It is.
Did you guys see? I mean, they dropped so much stuff on Game Pass this week. It's like you got
I
that
can't keep up with it
Yakuza
anymore.
remastered collection, which is Yakuza 3, 4, and 5. Is that right? 3? No, is it 4, 5, and 6? Then Cyber Shadow just came out, which is pretty great. Donut County just came out. Control, Edith Finch, like a bunch of shit.
Finch
Desperados 3. Like there's so much stuff that's like
It's an
Game
insanely
Pass
awesome
had a
value.
big week.
Good time to be a gamer.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was gonna say
Sure
we're in that sweet spot where consoles, everything looks pretty good, especially because a lot of people don't have the highest end of PC setup. So usually for this first 1 or 2 years, it's like, I could go either way. But I'm hoping games like, I think we'll see with like a game like Resident Evil, I would assume that looks noticeably better on like a good PC setup. Not that many games like Hitman don't even like Hitman.
Are you talking about Village?
You noticed.
Let me tell you,
yeah,
the
yeah.
demo was beautiful.
It really
on
did look
PS5.
good.
Like, so good.
It looks really good, absolutely. But I just happened to be playing Resident Evil 3 Remake to finish it up at the same time. And when I booted it up on PC, only at 1080p, but I have a 3080, so I was able to crank everything to ultra. I was like, "Ooh, this looks good." So
Blow to
can't
get a
wait to see.
3080.
What's that?
I said, who'd you blow to get a 3080?
NVIDIA. No, what happened was I was
Many
lucky
people
enough.
work there. That's a lot of work.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to be.
That's why we haven't seen him in a month and a half. All right.
Wow. I was lucky enough to be on the Kind of Funny co-stream where it was like announcing the new cards and all this stuff. So through that whole thing, they'd been hooked up with a few cards,
nice.
and for me being on it, that was part of the
That's
agreement.
awesome.
I cannot thank those guys enough. I was like, I actually didn't think it was going to happen, even when I was told, and I didn't say anything about it. And then it was many months went by, and I was like, yeah, probably not. And literally, it was like my friend Tim from Kind of Funny, Tim Geddes, shows up. He's like, dude, got the card. I was like, get out of here.
That's
shows
awesome.
up to
Awesome,
my
man.
doorstep. Like, it was amazing.
You think PS5s are hard to come by. 3080s, man.
Anything in there. But yeah, now I need a new CPU. My card and motherboard are.
What CPU do you have?
It's from like 4.5 years ago, an 8-core Intel. It's solid. It's a 6900K. But yeah, it's like 4.5 years old, so it's capped. I need to.
That's the
basically-
high-end desktop.
Yeah, it's
platform,
solid
right?
still.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm excited to build a new PC sometime this year.
Do you play at 4K? What resolution do you play PC games at?
Everything's at 1080p because of the way I
1080p.
stream. I haven't launched that headache yet of like scaling,
It's
across
not that
multiple
bad.
things. So-
Yeah, it's not that bad.
It's not that bad.
Yeah, but then I want to then you want the PS5 to be in 4K coming into what, a 4K monitor that's 120 hertz, and then it's like, how do I split that out to anyway? And then what
do,
if I'm
Fran,
recording?
is get yourself one of these OLED 48-inch TVs, put it on your desk.
The
It's
LG, man.
perfect. That's
We
what
need
I
that
got.
LG
It's
sponsorship.
wonderful. Yeah,
I feel like
it's been
I'm
mentioned
really
enough.
focused on the Croc sponsorship
Yeah,
right
yeah.
now. Maybe
No.
maybe LG down the road.
After Crocs.
The
I
Crocs.
got ideas for Crocs. I'm telling you. Anyhow, and then you get yourself a nice little splitter, so you can just split off that HDMI signal any direction you want. You're good to go. It's not that difficult. You got to buy all new capture cards.
Yeah.
Hey, $5,000 minimum. Maximum.
Exactly.
I mean,
Yeah,
maximum.
maximum.
You'll be all good to go.
I've been juggling it in my head as well. I've been thinking about like, man, what all do I need to swap out if I want to start going 4K? Because
Just replace your HDMI cables now because you're gonna have to later.
The capture card.
the capture card's a big
Capture cards.
one. Yep.
Anyway.
The
exciting
Ava Media one's been
times.
amazing.
The AverMedia capture card is fantastic. It's only like $250.
It's perfect.
Only
no problems with it at all.
$250. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna go with that route once I upgrade. Yeah.
Yeah.
We should probably
All
talk
right.
Destiny, guys.
Yeah,
Should
we're
we?
gonna have a lot
Is it
to talk
time?
about.
I think we just,
Yeah, there's a
just
big
jump
twab.
into the twab
All
because
right.
it was a monster of a twab. If you want to read along with us, guys, we're
Extra
on
thick.
page 128, 2021.
If you're following along.
your rulers out to follow down the lines if you lose yourself.
So this
Yep.
twab, a lot of people were thinking they were going to start sharing like new seasonal details, and they are. They're not sharing what the new season is going to be about. They're really just saying, here's what's changing in the next season, right?
Yes.
And it looks like they're really leaning into seasonal challenges as opposed to being like your daily gameplay being all about getting bounties, completing bounties to kind of level up. This is really going to be about seasonal challenges. So the big change to seasonal challenges is that week 1 through week 10 in a new season is going to have each week is going to have its own weekly challenges. It could be 3 challenges, anywhere from 3 to 10 challenges per week. And if you miss a week, you are going to be able to go back to that week. So the example they use is like, let's say you play week 1 and week 2, but you miss week 3 and 4. If you log back in week 5, the challenges for week 3, 4, and 5 are now going to be available to you. So you can go back and repeat those. So they're trying to cut out on like that FOMO feeling that players have had because they missed all the bounties in a week and those are no longer available. But now, these challenges are going to kind of replace those bounties in a way.
Think of it as like the way Apex does their challenges, where they have like week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, but you can go back and do any of them whenever you want.
Yeah.
So I like challenges. They're good. You don't have to go and like physically pick them up from a vendor. They're just in a little book that you keep in your pocket, and you're always working towards all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Sounds good.
I think it's worth stressing too that for many of us, we've been waiting for this change because we didn't want to chase bounties for XP. So not only is there this addressing the I miss that, which definitely they've talked about for a long time now, that they overshot the landing, so to speak, on wanting to do seasonal activities that made you want to get into the game. But for me, I feel like I've been waiting. It probably has been over a year. We've been talking about like, let's move on from this weekly bounty system, especially.
Yeah. It got stale, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
I
been
just
stale
did,
for a while,
with the season pass in particular, if you wanted to get to the end and you didn't play a certain way, especially across 3 different, characters, you were penalized basically because it was really designed to max out in that design. And now that's the big change you're going to be getting. What's interesting, they've really mapped it out real nice that across these 10 weeks, it's going to be pretty easy if you just do most of these activities to get your season pass done, free or not. So I'm excited about that and not even having to worry about bounties. And this is, I'm sure we'll get into it, but it affects Bright Dust and how that's earned.
Yeah.
So
I know it's a little
quality of
shitty
life
to
change.
like. I know it's a little shitty to like get this big change and then say, yeah, but what about?
There
But-
we go.
Like, speaking of FOMO, would it be really great to see? And I understand you can't make every change to a game right all at one point, but it would be really nice to see is, let's say that there's an ongoing story system happening. Like in week 1, we get a little bit of story. In week 2, we get the next bit. In week 3, we get the next bit. A lot of times that disappears. So like week 2 story is no longer available in week 3. It'd be nice if I could, using this seasonal challenge system, go back into week 2 story and get that story, go back into week 3 story, get that story by completing these challenges, get that cutscene or get that story bit, so that part of FOMO is gone as well. And that way, I've talked a lot about how what is not appealing to me is how I get these like little games play and story bits per week, and it's not like a deep dive. Like, yeah, like, but what if I could log in on week 6 and get 6 weeks of story? You know, like I could have my cake and eat it too, right? Everybody kind of gets what they want out of that system.
I think they've discussed that already, right?
Oh, really?
They're putting a new kiosk in the tower where you specifically can pick up story stuff.
Oh, that's awesome.
You can go back to the kiosk and like experience the story.
Yeah, in a roundabout
way. That's another way they're trying to get rid of FOMO.
Yeah, in a roundabout way they talk about that. The way you'll track this challenge system, they said something about that. Like it'll be easier to just get in and do your story stuff. But it's in other words, it sounds like they're exactly addressing that within each week it'll have the story stuff in there, and then I guess the second piece is making sure you can quickly and follow that. And they did. I remember that line. It's somewhere in there. It says new players as well as people who play a lot.
Because that's my biggest hang up with Destiny right now is that like I play week 1 and I get like I get the new story and I get into it and everything. But maybe maybe a new game comes out on week 3 and I'm playing something else for week 3, 4, 5. And then I've missed 3 weeks of story, so I don't really know what's going on anymore. So I'm like, do I really want to go back and like kind of catch the story midway through? Plus, it'd be so nice if I could just like, okay, it's week 7. I want to jump back in. I could get all caught up. I could also catch up on all these weekly challenges. And like, maybe I'm not playing Trials of Osiris, but I want to play some, I want to get Infamy or Valor. I could do that. Like, I like the system way better than
it definitely seems like 2 years prior to Beyond Light, there's been a lot of FOMO. Like it's been really heavy. And this season, or since Beyond Light, they've definitely been talking about how they want to address that and start approaching ways to reduce FOMO. And we've already seen some of that, and this is obviously a step in the right direction.
Yeah. Because it's a majorly demotivating factor to want to come back to play Destiny, but know that you're already missed out on a bunch of stuff. There's stuff that's not available to you that other people have. So this I think is a key upgrade for the systems of Destiny. I really think it's a big
Felwinter's Lie is probably one of the biggest ones. People are like, how do I get that? And it's like, you can't.
Well, that's not going to be addressed in this though, right?
No, but that's part of the Destiny experience
right challenges,
now. But that's part of the experience. People come in, they get like, oh, Beyond Light, cool. Then they're like, I keep dying to Felwinter's Lie. How do I get that gun? It's like, you can't.
Yeah. But they said that a few weeks ago, right?
Kiosk.
Yeah.
There's going to be a kiosk for everything.
Exactly. They said a few weeks ago, right? They don't like the idea that there might be weapons in the game that are relevant that you can't get or, that you can't get. And so they said they were addressing that. I forget exactly how that was going to go down, but it was part of the whole like sunset, power cap conversation. And they want to reintroduce more back into it. And so I guess we'll see how that plays out. Hopefully somewhat in this season. So
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'd been waiting for this one for a long time. On paper, at least from a structural standpoint, it really is big. I think, we're personally, I think, we're underselling it in that, like absolutely, like getting rid of weekly bounties across, who was it? It was like Gambit, Crucible, it was Shax, or sorry, I meant to say Zavala. There was a few, Gunsmith maybe, but weeklies are going to disappear on that. I think the seasonal activity table as well. So it's a lot. It's a big change. So I'm excited for that because, again, I didn't like that process. Dailies will still be available. So if you want to,
I liked the process when it was new, but over time, over years of having the same thing going, and just the grind of having, okay, here's what I got to do with my strikes. Here's what I got to do with my Crucible. Here's what I got to do in Gambit. It just became very boring and repetitive over time. And I think sometimes you have to change shit up just to change shit up, just so it rearranges how you play the game.
Yeah.
This may be great for a year, and then they have to change it eventually too, just because having a repetitive process just means it's going to get repetitive,
Yeah, I think it'll evolve, but again, I said it the way I did because I'm looking all the way back to Destiny 1, and that is what we're changing. When you really think about it, the weekly bounty structure across every character, and that's what you got to do. Plus, you had the season pass on top of it. It's a huge change. So I don't know whether I'll like the various activities and how it's split up. I'm not saying I won't, by the way, but like that is the verdict is out. Like okay, how do I complete this week? Is it fun? But let's be honest, I never thought like the weekly bounties were all that fun anyway. So it was either way, it's a grind. Some of their notes are kind of like, it's interesting that they are putting some bigger stuff in there. The mere mention of a Grandmaster Nightfall potentially being part of the challenges. It obviously becomes optional if you want to get XP that way, but that is also going to be new. Like that was never a weekly bounty.
Yeah, and the way that they're also like at the end of the season, the challenges are going to be reset. If you don't claim the challenges, you're going to have like lose all of the bright dust and all of that stuff. So that's another way of them helping with like bounty hoarding or people feeling the need to do it. Because you can still hoard the daily ones, but people went and hoarded the weekly ones because those gave
blew my mind.
Big XP. That was the big XP earner. So you're not going to have those anymore, and the challenges are going to be reset. So I especially like that reason for this.
I didn't even think about that one yet because I've been on that, harping on that for a while. Yeah, getting rid of those big weekly experience like hoarding abilities. That kind of, hopefully, it solves that.
It looks like
they did a couple things with like the raid not using the artifact, which helped with people not wanting to hoard. But even then, like getting to the mods on the artifact and all that stuff, it all helps.
Yeah,
it all helps with stuff. So hopefully now people don't feel like they have to hoard.
Yeah, I think overall this is a step in the right direction towards getting rid of some of the mundane. I mean, it's still the same activities, obviously, like Brian, you're mentioning. So they haven't solved that issue, but the bounty issue has definitely been around for a while, and this is definitely a step in the right direction towards them fixing that. But I would like to see more refreshes in those activities of something different as opposed to the same activities. And who knows? Maybe that is coming. Maybe it's in a different TWAB. Maybe it's next season, or not this coming season, but the season after that, or maybe it's Witch Crane. When they'll be able to really change those things, but I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, either way, I can't see any initial downside of this. And again, it's literally just mostly addressing the intuitiveness of like logging in and knowing what to do, and maybe above that, the sort of grind of like weekly bounty system. It's a pretty old system, and replacing it with something. So I'm trying to like because what I always think about, right, is what happens when it finally launches. Because all those things that you didn't think about suddenly come to fruition. You just see like the Reddit threads and I'm like, what's it gonna be? Yeah. And I don't see it coming yet, other than you have to do these activities for this challenge. And
the issue I see right away. Go ahead, Watts.
I was gonna say, I guess the thing is that it's pretty much the same as what we've been doing. It's just it's in a book. And you can like go back and complete the challenges. Whereas if you missed a week bounty or 2 weeks bounties, like you couldn't go and make up for that lost XP. Yeah. Whereas this is going to really help you kind of stay with everyone else with your XP gains because you have access to all the challenges. So I think it's a similar system to what we already have, but I think that it is an improved version of what we have and what we've been doing. And you get a lot more bright dust.
Yeah.
Which we can talk about.
Yeah.
Well, before we do the bright dust, though, I did want to talk is that because they can vary up the challenges on a week-to-week basis, and they have a pool of examples for challenges like defeating primeval envoys, defeating enemies in a nightfall, the ordeal with seasonal weapons, gaining infamy or valor ranks, acquiring the ritual and its cosmetic ornaments, winning rounds in Trials of Osiris. Like it could come to a week where you're not capable of doing any of those. Like maybe you can't do trials. You don't have a group to do nightfall, like that could be an issue, right? If they don't moderate what those challenges are week to week, and if it comes down to a week where there are very few challenges and they're all ultra difficult or all require a team of people and it leaves the solo players out, like I think Bungie needs to be pretty careful about what they do for challenges.
Yeah, but again, it's number one, it's interesting if you look at the week. This is an example, so subject to change. But if you look at the photo of this seasonal challenge table, it starts with 10. Looks to me like there's 10 challenges a week for the first 4 weeks, and it goes down to 8. Then it's 7. Then it's 6 in a row. Then 5. So by the end of the week, it's only 5 challenges a week, and they're going to be. I think they may have said it right after this, but it'll sort of get. It looks to me like it's going to get increasingly difficult if you want to take it that far. So it's. Again, what is it for? I think that's where they got to be careful. Because for me, I'm only thinking about primarily just the XP exchange and completing my season pass. But it becomes tied to a seal, completing every challenge or something. Like that's where maybe, I don't know if I'm missing something here, but that's probably where they got to be careful. But if it's just for XP, I think to Briar's point, all I'm saying is, hey, Briar, I don't think, great that he's gone now. Briar, I don't think you were doing all the weekly challenges, were you?
No.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Briar doing weekly challenges?
For everybody listening, he had to step away a second. So, but yeah, like again, I feel like, we got to be careful not to get into that. Like, well, wait, I can't finish this. It's like, wait, were you doing everything before?
The biggest issue was taking, like, say, a month off and then being penalized for the fact that you don't have the XP or the bright dust gains from those weekly activities.
Yeah.
So now all that stuff is combined into here's your challenges for the weeks that are coming as they unlock, and they're not going to expire. Yeah,
you have till the end of the season.
That's
to get that.
You have the whole season to do it. Yeah, they will expire, but it'll be at the end of the season. Yeah. Personally, I think it's a good way of getting rid of that problem. Like I didn't play for the past 2 weeks, and now I'm missing out on XP and bright dust that I could have been acquiring that I don't have anymore. So that's a good solution.
Yep. And having a list, that's that we all love. I know you, Taft, you love clearing that like little diamond,
love clicking on
like
bounties.
Marker. Boop. You love like
Anytime
clearing everything.
The game's telling me that I got to do something specifically. I love just getting real close to doing it and then not.
Yeah.
Because I like to save it. It's like a cookie.
Exactly. Did we mention about free play versus seasonal pay in terms of the challenges?
No, let's talk about the bright dust.
Yeah, I was just going to bring up the 60-40, right? So they were very clear that 60% of these challenges are going to be free. Then 40% will be locked behind, the seasonal challenges, right?
So it says over roughly 60% of the seasonal challenges do not require the season pass. So about 40% is going to be behind the season pass that you got to buy in order to get those done. I don't see any problem with that. I mean, like if you're already a hardcore player, you're going to own the season pass.
Yeah, I mean, that's where there's so much going on in this update. I'm trying to decode everything. Like, is that in a roundabout way though? Is it saying, well, wait, if you don't buy the season pass normally, are you going to get screwed out of XP?
You're definitely not going to get as much.
More, or are they giving you more?
Yeah, from what it
See
is
what I mean?
right now.
Like if you could just do all the weeklies and dailies before, but dailies are still free, so you can grind out.
That's
dailies.
Interesting.
But I don't know. There's a lot in here.
It's a good question, and I don't think anyone's really going to be able to know unless they like keep track of the before and after. Hopefully, Fallout. Count on you, Fallout. Keep track of this detail.
Yeah, right.
I mean, what do
what's interesting about thinking about this? What's interesting about thinking about this game now is that there are people who, do compare this game to like the free version to the paid version and say, is it a pay to win game? Now that there is a free version out there, and it's interesting. It's a different conversation. We don't bring it up too often on this podcast because none of us play the free to play version. Right?
Stasis has definitely tipped it more towards pay to win.
Yeah, absolutely.
But is it pay to win or is it pay to play? And I'm not defending either way. Like, pay to win there's a big gradient on how people do that.
Totally. That's what I'm saying.
The worst pay to win is truly
where you can buy the best gun in the game that kills everybody that you look at.
Or when you do the math, it's like, well, I mean, you could play 3,000 hours and you're like, wait, but if you pay, it only takes you 100 hours. That's where it becomes
for sure.
the worst.
Yeah, and I definitely want to clarify that. I'm saying it's tipping it. It's not for sure. Stasis hasn't 100% put it that way. It's tipped it closer towards if you don't have stasis, sometimes it's a pain in the ass to, get frozen all the time.
Yeah, and then it becomes about intent. It's funny that actually this just happened in my chat like 3 or 4 days ago. Someone came in and asked me like, "Oh, I'd love your opinion, and what do you think of it?" And I was like, "Yeah, like what are you talking about at first?" And because I haven't been playing PvP, and stasis was the big thing. I was like, "Oh, yeah." Well, I was like, "Actually, you bring up a really good point. It kind of is almost pay to win because stasis is so powerful." But what I said, I was like, intent though. I'm like, I don't think Bungie sat down and were like, yeah, we're going to make stasis like this so people have to buy the game. And that was not the intention. It's because of what Destiny is, with all these powers and subclasses and weapons. The same as you could argue with if you couldn't get a weapon because it was behind a season pass and it was wrecking you in the
So right
Crucible.
now, Stasis isn't available to people who play the free-to-play version of the game.
You got to own Beyond
So
Light.
when will it get added?
I assume with Witch Queen, but I don't know.
Is that the schedule that Bungie is on with
I
the
thought it was
free-to-play
every
stuff?
2
Is like,
years.
is it every 2 years?
It's funny that when you
I don't
even
pay
asked, I was like,
attention
that's
to
right,
it
like-
because I just don't interact with it. But maybe we should be, because I bet that's a huge population of the audience.
yeah, that is interesting. You can't even get any Stasis without buying it.
Yeah, you have to
So
own
like
Beyond
you
Light.
said, we don't play that way. We gotta keep an eye on that more, you know.
And like, in our defense, is like that's a new version of the game that like legacy players who came in Destiny 1 aren't really like accustomed to, because Destiny cost $60 when it came out, and then each DLC costs money. Like there's never a free to play version until year 2 of Destiny 2, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was recent.
just a few years ago, coming up on a few years, I think,
Year 2 of Destiny 2 was a few years ago. God damn,
I guess.
it's flying by, isn't it?
Seriously.
But yeah, no, but it is. But is Destiny? It's a really interesting topic. I don't know if you want to dwell on it now, but I certainly, from the core of it, I don't think, especially for PvE, is not a pay to win designed game, but there are pay to win elements or pay to be better, of course. Like little XP boosts with the season pass, or previously with the ghosts, that you could buy out of the. But again, XP was like small.
I mean, it's got to be
weapons.
There's got to be some value to buying the season pass, right? Like they need to have things in there that you're gonna want. Otherwise, it's like, why would you even buy the season pass? And
Yeah.
they got to have money to develop the game further. That's obvious.
Yeah, but that's where it gets tricky. Like, again, what's the intent? And again, I think if you boil it down, like, put aside Stasis and the Crucible, because that's where I think if they could speak freely and not have to worry about it, and there's no way they could talk about it this way, I think it'd be like, yeah, we don't want this Crucible to be like this right now. It is. We're working on it, and we certainly did not intend for people playing for free to, like, have to deal with this much Stasis. And I don't think it was their intent. But if you look at PvE, I'm like, you don't have to have Stasis.
No,
Has Bungie ever talked about
yeah.
the percentage of people who are free to play in the game? I'm sure
Not
on
that I
weekends it
can
goes up for Trials of
recall.
Osiris.
I don't think we've got that number. They haven't broken it out. I think it's
strange correlation.
they boil it down to players.
I wonder if there's any streamers who stream the free to play experience.
Doesn't
Yeah,
Cammy have an
I would love
account
to know
where
that.
it's 100%?
I think
Who?
Cammy did all free to play.
Yeah.
Did he?
I don't know how far he went with it.
Huh. Chat, do you guys know, are there any streamers who just like deal with the free to play version of the game? Like who just
I'm sure
focus
there
on that?
are.
I'm sure there are.
But nobody would label it either. It'd be hard to find, I think. But yeah, I'd love to know.
Yeah. Free to play only stream.
Because I know with like Genshin Impact, there's a lot of people who just focus on not spending money, right?
Well, that's a little.
Nobody I know.
But
Everybody's just saying Cammy.
yeah. Yeah. But I mean, I think, we got on this tangent because it was, you look at the
Yeah,
seasonal
sorry.
challenges and you start to say, will this somehow lead to like a pay to win? And I think it's way too early to say. I can't see that again, because I feel like it's pay to get some vanity items out of your season pass. Like, again, a lot of it's XP and Bright Dust. Like, what is it truly going to give you that's win, or that would keep you from winning at an activity? So, like, especially Crucible. Like, let's just say, is there something in this challenge that you're going to get that's going to make you better in the Crucible? I highly doubt it.
No. This is
Stasis,
XP,
however.
Yeah, Stasis. That's the biggest thing, right? Like, Stasis is locked behind a paywall.
Yeah.
But it's also really cool, and they want to make their new stuff really cool also. So you do want to buy the expansion because they want you to buy the expansion so they can make more content for the game. So it's like, it's dual-sided for sure. It's tough to make a free-to-play game and not like make things powerful.
Yeah,
I
it's
always
true.
considered the free to play version of this game as like just an intro, right? It's
Yeah.
like, hey, come check out Destiny. If you like it, check out some of this stuff that you actually have to pay for. But I'm sure there are tons of people who play only free games because, there is a global pandemic. People don't have jobs. Like, money is an issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Time is not an issue. Money is.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, Teft, you're putting in good terms, like, yeah, I don't think it's flat out intentional, but you're right. I mean, of course they designed Stasis to be the coolest, and I'm sure the thought was there of like, yeah, I mean, it's going to be cool. You're going to want to get it, but
yeah, you're going to want to
again, I
people.
still don't, I still don't think they intended it to be as powerful as it is. And I mean, they did even try to nerf it, right? But it's still not enough of a nerf.
I don't know. My viewpoint on the Crucible lately, or maybe for the past year, has been that they want it to be crazy. And if it ends up being really crazy, then they'll look at it. But for the most part, if it's crazy and you're like, damn, that was crazy, then they're like, we're doing our job right. Like, I think that's how they're looking at it. As opposed to, let's try to make the most balanced, perfect Crucible experience that is ultra boring.
Yeah, we tried that once.
Yeah.
We did.
Handguns and or hand cannons and assault rifles only.
Yeah.
Well, that was a weird side story, but we do have a ton of stuff to talk about. Do you want to talk about the bright dust? Watts, you're saying you get a ton more bright dust?
I don't know what the numbers currently are. I was trying to find out. From this Reddit thread, it looked like in Shadowkeep you could get 49,500 by someone doing all bounties every week in a season. From Beyond Light, you could get 33,900 for the same deal.
Okay.
And then if we look at this, we're getting 10,000 total bright dust for seasonal challenges, 10,500 for season pass bright dust, and then 14,040 total if you complete all required weekly challenges over the course of season 13.
So around 34 to 3,500.
Which
so about the same as we're getting now.
Yeah, it seems pretty on par. It's just, I guess, different ways of doing it. And if you do complete all of the seasonal activities, seasonal challenges, you get 4,000 bright dust just given to you.
It's a big old bonus bright dust.
A nice bump.
A big old bump.
Yeah,
I don't know.
The season pass.
I can guarantee I'll never see that $4,000 drop.
I can guarantee you I will not get this
stimulus dust
14,000 total due to completing it on every single character.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
That's...
I'm really happy they laid it out this way, though. I actually remember being on an episode being like, man, could they please just lay out the numbers? Yeah. And they literally did it here. I'm
this
like,
is
bravo.
The Fran,
thank you.
This is the Fran listing.
This is the Franest of moments.
The Marabella special.
You can drop this into a spreadsheet so easily. Oh, I can see it all now. You can drop your percentages, right? How much percent is the seasonal extra out of the total? Let's go. But yeah, anyway, it's funny that I look at this and I'm hoarding like 16 to 20K bright dust because, yeah, in the past, this is where I came up. I was like, I wish I knew how much I could potentially earn and how easily. And now I know that I'm missing out on, really over, I don't know if it's over 30.
I feel like this is a lot more than the previous seasons.
Yes, I don't know. That's what you were looking at, but
I don't know because I've only seen one thing and I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't keep these
I'd
numbers.
I'd be surprised
in my head.
if it was more, to be quite honest.
Yeah,
because
it feels like it's more.
I don't remember being able to pull 34,000 of dust per season.
But you didn't do every daily and
but you don't do everything, right? It's like
no, I'm like having discussions about this. I don't remember it being something where you can easily pull 34,000 out of the season. Then I could be wrong. Maybe it is, but like, I don't know.
Gotcha.
Oh yeah, they did also say that during like a special seasonal thing, there will be some extra bright dust. So that probably doesn't include those final numbers. Probably don't include that.
Okay.
Because obviously that's when you want to spend all your big dollars. It's during like dawning and Halloween stuff. So they did say they will give us some more.
Or Crimson Doubles. I love spending a ton of money on Crimson Doubles gear.
You love Crimson
my
Days?
God. My favorite event of the year.
All right, that's good to know, Briar. Let's talk about
troll,
the Sandbox.
dude.
I just hope
all right, let's talk about the Sandbox. So,
wait, you're not going to use a mouse.
If you use a mouse, Bungie says, "Go fuck yourself."
Yeah, that's what. Yeah. Okay. They're like, you know what? It's been 3 years. Time to call it quits on that.
You know what? Vicarious Vision designed all this shit. Fuck them. They're with Blizzard now. We're out. Get a controller, you dweeb.
So what's
Wait.
actually happening
Yeah.
in preparation
who-
for crossplay? By the way,
Yeah.
In
So
addition to me, wait, who is using mouse and keyboard primarily?
I do.
I'm
Oh,
like
you-
50-50 right now.
Tef, yeah, you had switched for multiple reasons. Right?
Shoulder.
Okay.
So
50-50.
currently, the recoil is reduced when you use a mouse to aim by 40%.
yes.
And for auto rifles, scout rifles, pulse rifles, submachine guns, hand cannons, and machine guns, they're reducing the amount of adjustment from 40% to 20%. So there's going to be more recoil when you're using mouse and keyboard on those weapons.
Yeah.
Yeah, about twice as much, really, when you think about it.
And they did say that so it looks like the reasoning behind this is that players using M&K can largely ignore the stability weapon stat,
Yeah,
which
is true.
creates
Yeah.
unintended discrepancies in weapon performance between the two input
Dude.
devices. So like say if it's gone down to 20%, like you have 20% less recoil than someone on controller, but then you add like stability perks. We don't know how much that's going to add to it, right? Because that's going to bump your stability up from that 20. So maybe this is
Yeah.
literally just a change to be like, you can get back to where you are, but you have to invest in stability perks.
That makes
instead
sense
of
to
just
me,
ignoring
Watts.
them.
Because
Yeah.
it's a stat that you don't have to deal with as a keyboard user at all. It's a mouse and keyboard user at all, and you can design your loadout without by just focusing on range. You know, you don't have to worry about stability on an auto rifle. You don't have to worry about stability on a pulse rifle. You just worry about range or reload stats or whatever.
Yeah.
And that those guns feel completely different than when you move over to a controller.
Yeah.
Like it feels hugely different.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, like, is this going to be a significant enough change to, like, is this going to make keyboard and mouse players feel like they're at a disadvantage in this game?
Yeah, I don't
They
think so.
shouldn't.
This is still like right now, controlling recoil with mouse on Destiny is easy. Like
Oh, it's
you
crazy.
don't really have to do it.
insanely easy. That you barely
You play any other
Yeah, exactly.
FPS on
You-
PC with
Right?
M&K. There's recoil.
you play. I mean, you play Counter-Strike. I mean, there's
Even
people
Apex.
who memorize these recoil patterns, and it is like
Even Apex.
insanely difficult in comparison to what Destiny puts out. So if they bring this down a bit, like I don't think that's gonna be an issue whatsoever. You're gonna be like,
Yeah.
oh, I have to, do a little more compensation than just barely compensate.
Yeah, and
I
you
really
have
don't
your
feel like you
whole
have to
arm
control
do it.
recoil at all.
You don't. Destiny
Yeah.
is a game where if you're on M&K, there's
Hand
like
cannons.
no recoil. And you
Yeah.
play even games like Apex, which probably have the most comparable feel to Destiny. There's still significantly more recoil.
Yeah,
There's like
way
bullet drop off, all that
Yeah.
stuff. So
Way more.
you still can turn way faster than a controller, which is huge. You
Mhm.
can jump behind them. You can your movement on M&K is significantly better. So I don't think it's going to be any problem this change. It's just
Yeah.
making them a bit more comparable. And then if you get stability stats on your weapons with M&K, you're going to bump it higher. So
Mhm.
I feel like, I don't know. I feel like
It
But
may
you can do
add
this-
depth to the game for mouse and keyboard users. It may, like, all of a sudden, instead of
Yeah.
just having one stat or two stats I'm worried about with weapons, okay, now stability actually makes a difference. Like, I want my shot pattern to be close together, and I want it to be a little easier to hit consistent headshots with auto rifles. So now I am actually looking at stability as a
Mhm.
as a top tier, but maybe not too, because I don't know that this is going to be that big a change.
Mhm.
That's
like,
my
it may
thought.
be that 20% doesn't make
Yeah,
any
it sounds
difference.
big, but it's still 20% less than console.
Yeah.
The big thing that's missing for me in this, and they did obviously again a great job, but I wish they had explained the point of why all this time has it been 40% more. Am I understanding
Yeah.
it right that controllers have aim assist and PC does not?
PC
And
definitely has aim assist.
Still has aim assist.
Or does not have a? Are you talking bullet magnetism or
It
pulling
has
the
bullet
reticle?
magnetism.
Bullet magnetism, yes,
Yeah.
but it doesn't pull your reticle, right?
No, you
True.
can't do
Controller
that
does.
with a mouse. It just feels too fucking weird.
But controller does, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So wait, one is aim assist is pulling the reticle, isn't it?
It's both actually. It's bullet magnetism and also
both.
reticle adjustment. Yeah,
Right. But either way, we
stickiness.
don't have the reticle kind of hits them a little easier, depending. It's not like it's insane on controller, but it's definitely there. But my point is, if you guys could maybe spell it out to me, why was it 40% more in the first place? Why will it continue to be 20% more? Is it because of that?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah. It's harder to aim on PC. It's easier and it's harder. It's easier if you're really good. And you got like crazy reflexes. This is a lot harder if you're not that good. Trust me. I can tell you.
All right. I'll take your word for it.
Anyway,
I've never thought Destiny on PC with a mouse and keyboard is like, I find it to be significantly easier to use, especially like hand cannons on PC with a mouse than I do with a controller.
And I'm talking PvP, by the way. That's where for me the movement and the time to kill is very difficult. But I'm not complaining, for the record. But I think the pause in the room here is like, yeah, wait, why is it more? Why is it?
I mean, it was a significant. I remember when Destiny 2 first came out. It came out. We were playing for a month or 2 or 3 on on the PlayStation and the Xbox, and there was like a general feeling
TOP.
of like it doesn't feel as good as Destiny 1 did. And then the PC version dropped, and we all started playing on PC with mouse and keyboard. We're like, oh, here it is. Okay, we're good.
I guess the other simple explanation is what you said with it feels weird to get recoil when you're on a mouse, you control it a lot differently than just like your thumbstick. But, anyway, I wish because they do such a good job, but sometimes they forget to tell us why it's like that in the first place. And there was another few moments in here I was like, but wait, why is it like that?
Yeah, I think it's about time that they make this adjustment to mouse, because like it is insanely easy.
I'm not worried.
Yeah, it's insanely easy to adjust recoil right now on a mouse.
This to me is like a stat that is meaningless in my head until I get it in my hands. Right?
Yeah.
20% less recoil. Okay, what's that mean?
Yeah.
How's it gonna feel? I don't know. Like
Most
we'll
SMGs,
we'll see when it drops.
Most SMGs were lasers. That you could
That's
just
the
like,
thing. Yeah. So I during Recluse being like super strong everywhere, PC players could shoot you with Recluse from like across the map. So they could use like Recluse and a shotgun, but on a controller you couldn't run like Recluse and a shotgun because you just couldn't shoot people from very far away. It just became impossible.
And Last Word was like the reverse of that. Was that right?
Last Word's really good on controller.
Yeah. And I don't know if that's recoil or aim assist, but hopefully we get better parity is the point, right?
Yeah, hoping that the stability stat isn't useless on an entire platform.
Yeah, it should. It should. You nailed it before, where it's like it should affect you. Yeah, go play Apex or, even more difficult games with tons of recoil like Tarkov, and you will be like, okay, we're very lucky. It's pretty chill in Destiny. It's about range and position and all this stuff. So it'll be interesting. I think you're right that till it's in our hands, it's not. There's no point in speculating, because when we're practically at 0, what is a little bit more going to feel like? I don't know, because we don't know what the max stat is. Because in your brain, right, you think about, oh, we're going from like, well, they're saying it doesn't affect us, to it'll be twice as bad. But like, what is bad? Is it 100, or is it literally like a 1 on the scale? It's like, who knows? I guess we'll see.
So to add to that, though, they're also reducing the camera shake on some of the weapons. So the submachine gun, the pulse rifle, and the machine gun are all getting a reduction in the camera shake, which can be perceived recoil, right?
Yes.
And the submachine guns are getting a 24% reduction, pulse rifles are getting 7%, and machine guns are getting 9.5%. Which is like, so are we even going to notice this? Like, is it going to be? It's going to be interesting to figure out what actually is the end result of all this, right?
Yeah, get out there. Fallout, get out there, man. Start recording all this stuff so we have the prior reference.
Right? Did you guys see Fallout's thumbnail for this TWAB? He did a video for this TWAB. Did you see his thumbnail for the video?
Was it hard to see it, like recoil?
It was just a mouse with a circle and a cross through the circle.
Perfect.
It was. I thought it was pretty classy myself.
Pretty good. Within this update that you just mentioned, by the way, 24% reduction in camera shake. Again, whatever that is. This is a lot. It might be noticeable on the SMG.
I think it will be, because like Hardlight was in a situation where you could barely use that thing, and then they adjusted the camera shake, and it was like, oh, this is amazing.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
And I had a question about that second one. Pulse rifles with the mouse and keyboard changes were kicking a little too much. We've reduced camera movement from firing a pulse by 7%. Wait, are they saying just on mouse and keyboard?
Sounds like it, yeah.
That's what it sounds like.
That's not how I read it.
Exactly. You could read it both ways.
I read it as pulse rifles with mouse and keyboard were kicking a little too much, so we just changed the total stat by 7%.
Probably. I think you're right about it. But that's where I was like, wait, they addressed it on PC, but it'll affect console as well. But I guess it's only 7%, so whatever. And it's camera. This is camera movement. Yeah. So
yeah, because how you can plug a keyboard and mouse or a controller into your PC. So how are they going to change the camera movement for that?
Well, I mean, they changed
I didn't mean
depending
to
on how
PC, but controller or mouse and keyboard being.
That's what I mean. It's like, say you're playing on PC, or say you're playing on PC and you plug a controller in. Is the camera shake going to be different depending on if it's a controller or a keyboard or mouse? I doubt it, right?
I mean, the recoil is, right?
The recoil is, yes. But
about.
the camera shake would be, I think, a little more jarring.
It's out of my pay grade.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll ask for clarification. We'll get back to you next week.
That was a great PR answer. Look at this guy. But yeah, there's a lot of, I think the point here, right, is there's a lot of little changes going on that it's definitely going to feel different. We just, who knows until we get our chance to play it.
Yeah.
So outside of recoil, some weapons are getting some buffs. I love to see the buff
I'm
section,
so
right?
excited about this.
Rocket launchers are getting an overall damage increase by 30%.
That's
Exotic rocket launchers are getting individually adjusted, and this is paired with buffs to reserves from last season. And they say that we're hoping you'll explode many more things in season 13. So bigger explosions plus more rockets that we got last season. More rockets in general,
more damage.
right?
When was the last rocket meta? Was it Wrath of the Machine? Like, what?
No,
Like
people were cheesing Riven with rockets.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true, but that was like a bug versus. Didn't they only use it for that? Nobody was like using it anywhere else.
Yeah, that was a specific rocket too. It had to be void and it had to have cluster bombs.
Yeah,
There was a while
But
where
meaning
coil was like the one to go for a lot of different things.
That's true.
Ward. Yeah, but that's like, isn't that technically a grenade launcher?
Yeah.
Is it, or is it rocket? I've actually forgot.
I mean, no, it's a
one of
rocket, but like it's
It is-
shoots
it
a bunch of
feels
mini
like-
ones.
Yeah. But no, like for real, meaning if you were going to load out to just go into what I'm asking you guys to go into Lost Sectors, Nightfalls, PvE, particularly put PvP aside for a second, a raid as well. Like when you use the rocket a lot, when was the last time? Honestly, it might have been
Gallahorn.
taking.
It was when Gallahorn was around.
Maybe all the way back to
It
taking.
was Destiny 1. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm excited for that reason.
Do you think this is preparation for the return of Gallahorn? Like, I mean, if we're bringing back Gallahorn, we better buff rocket launchers.
Better not
right?
suck.
We can't bring back a weak ass Gallahorn. That's not going to happen.
Be like,
That's
Gallahorn's
out,
back, but it's sick.
Dude,
It
you
makes
might have
sense.
nailed it. But,
Yeah, that's it.
that is coming.
Yeah.
That might be it.
Well, I didn't expect you to agree with me. I had no preparation for
Hammer,
that.
nail, smack.
This is
Well,
unprecedented.
Think about it. We're gonna have Vault of Glass. You want to use Gallahorn on Atheon?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Classic.
Fusion rifle usage is low, and they feel like an unreliable choice in the Crucible compared to shotguns. So they're increasing fusion rifle damage fall off start distance based on the range set. So it's 6% with 0 range, 16% with 100% with 100 range. So this means that the fusion rifle damage fall off will start further away, right?
Correct.
Mhm.
Okay.
That's what I wish that was the one I wish they explained a little better too, because I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, it's
Zero
a
range.
confusing set of stats.
So wait,
Well-
the sick. Yeah, maybe it's not worth getting into, but I did understand that at a base that it's just not going to fall off as soon, right?
Yeah, I think so. And then they also reduce the camera movement for firing a fusion rifle by 9.5%. So it'll
Interesting.
feel like it has less recoil.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all about that. I love
I'm
my
excited
fusions.
about this one.
Yeah.
You're excited?
Yes, because I used to love fusion rifles on
Yeah,
controller.
Oh,
fusion rifles
sorry.
are fun.
And this one.
Oh no, not the breach grenade launcher.
Okay.
Yeah, now
Yeah.
I know why Watts was reacting that way. She's like, "What? Why?" Just on fusion, real fast. Yeah, I used to use it at the very launch of Destiny 1, obviously on controller, and it was so much fun. It
You
was
know
such
what
unique.
this means, Fran? Do you
Hmm.
know what this means? The
Mm.
dad gamers are taking over. Bye, M&K. You're out of here. Controllers are back. Pulse rifles are back. Fusion rifles are back. The dads will
it's
take
funny
over
reading
once
this
again.
because I'm like, fusion rifle low usage. Like fusions have been good. Like they've been good for a while. Now it's gonna get even better.
Yeah. I was gonna say you got it, but you've got
I have
to
had,
be
like,
good with
perfect.
them. You really got to practice. You got to get a
sure.
good roll.
Well,
it wasn't as easy just to drop one in.
Well, that's the thing. You can't just run up and barrel stuff someone with a fusion
No.
rifle. Like you
No.
have to predict.
You just
with
have
the
to be
fusion
a
rifle.
dad.
Yeah.
You got to be a dad.
But I feel like
It's
for the
sad.
to its point, for the most part, the meta numbers don't lie. Like people are just rushing you with a freaking shotgun. It's way easier.
It's
to
so
do
much
that.
easier to rush with a shotgun. Just like you point and click on someone with the shotgun in front of you.
Yeah. So it doesn't sound big on paper. I'm actually hoping that they went. I don't want to see like all fusions in there or something, but I hope it went far enough that it does start the challenge. Like think about that statement. It feels unreliable in the Crucible compared to shotguns. Everything's
nerf
always been unreliable compared to shotguns.
Let's see if they do later in the TWAM.
Yeah.
Breach grenade launcher usage is very low. Leave it that way, please. We believe part of the reason is that the loop of hold trigger to aim, then release to detonate is challenging to execute, particularly since projectiles can bounce off targets if the trigger is held. Breach grenade launcher projectiles will now detonate on impact with a character, even if
Again.
holding
Oh
the
my
trigger.
god, easy
The
mode.
dads are back in
I'm a little
town.
worried about this one.
This is dumb.
You can spend, I kid you not, 2 games of PvP max, and you're like, okay, I understand how this works. It might take you a bit longer to get really good at when to know when to let it go, but you learn very quickly how it works. It's not a difficult thing to figure
Seriously.
out. It's pretty easy.
They didn't change the pro pipe and breach because it was hard to use. It was like it's hard to use for a reason. Like it should stay that way.
It's really strong. So, if people want to use it and they want to figure out, bounce walls and when it's going to hit someone, sure.
If you're into geometry, you bust that out. You bust out a fighting line. You do some stuff with that.
yeah.
This is bad. I don't like this. This is
Yeah.
I agree. I don't like
I am
any
concerned.
buff to grenade launchers in Destiny whatsoever.
Nope. Me neither.
I don't
was
mind
gonna
it in PvE, but in PvP, I hate it.
I was gonna say, do you think there's gonna be an unintended side effect of this?
Yeah,
people
my
complaining about
happiness
grenade launchers.
disappearing.
Your
I think.
happiness. Yeah, I'm just a little worried that
Yeah.
maybe we'll see that there might be a little loophole here that all of a sudden we're getting a lot of like grenade
Launcher
spam.
Oh, you will.
spam all over the
Because-
place.
I mean,
Because
look
if
at
the
how
proximity
strong
detonation-
120s are. Look at how strong they are. 120s.
Mm-hmm.
Super strong. And now you can just you don't even have to let go of it. You just have to shoot it at someone and then you
Yep.
boop, explode. Boop, switch, dead.
I don't
It's funny
understand
because
this
the
change at all.
intention I agree with, because in PvP I don't really like using a breach grenade launcher. Like I wouldn't really choose it. So I like the idea that it'll just shoot it at him and it'll explode. I don't want to think about it too much. Maybe that's just
In
me being
PvP?
lazy.
Or
Yeah, in
PvE. In
PvP.
PvP is where I have a problem with this.
Yeah.
Wait, but oh yeah, that's a good point. I only read this thinking I assumed it was addressing PvP. I didn't think about it for PvE. So I was
In
really just
PvE, I don't
going
have a
for
problem
PvP.
with this at all. Fucking let the shit explode in PvE.
No,
The
I
more
still-
explosions,
Yeah, I
the
guess I
better.
don't care.
I would rather control the explosion in PvE as well. Like if I'm holding the trigger, I'm holding it for a reason because I want to guide its explosion, not have it auto trigger upon
There you go.
hitting something
So are you
that I
bu-
didn't intend.
That's a good point. That's
Are you
a
saying
strong point.
you're more worried about losing the ability to control that versus it being too easy for everyone?
Yeah,
Like which worries you more?
both actually. Definitely too easy for
Okay.
everyone to just be like, oh, I'm just gonna jump in and start holding grenades towards or shooting grenades and holding the trigger towards people. But also, it takes away some extra tacticalness of it. Like it's sometimes nice to be able to just bounce it around enemies.
It is nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe they need to give him for those who want to do it that way, like the advanced the firing mode.
Mhm.
Like that you just hold down the trigger or whatever to change it. But
It's like making the hitbox for sniper rifles for precision hits half the size of the body. Oh wait, never mind. It's already that way. Never mind. But that's what it's like. It's like increasing those, like just widening that to make it even easier.
I guess we'll see. I can
Yeah.
see why it's concerning, but
Well, maybe we'll see if we dare enter the Crucible.
More people will
you
probably use
dare.
it because now there's not going to be a oh, that's weird. It's not doing anything. Oh, I have to let it go.
mhm.
Mm-hmm.
If you
we
shoot
get
it
some-
directly at someone.
Getting some nerfs as well. Sniper rifle usage is dropped in the Crucible, so they are increasing ADS. Wait, this is a weird one. Sniper rifle usage has dropped in the Crucible. We've observed that it's hard to challenge somebody with a sniper rifle, even if you got the first shot in an enemy. They can often respond and win the fight. So they increase ADS flinch to snipers who take damage from other players. So sniper rifle usage has dropped in the Crucible, so we're going to nerf them.
It's funny because I read that both ways for sure. Because I agree with the intention. Like, it's not fair if you're like shooting a sniper with a decent hand cannon from a decent distance, and they just snipe you right back because there's not enough flinch. That does suck, right? They shouldn't be able to keep sniping you in the face. However, it already has dropped for various other reasons. That's where I would turn to the experts, you guys. Watts, like, why has it gotten worse again? Was it the ADS time or the time down sights, or what did they change that made it this way?
They changed like a bunch of things. They changed like the aim assist values of stuff, and you can tell pretty quickly when you go and use a sniper since the update. You're like, this is harder to hit things. It's definitely more difficult, and you, especially with the like any kind of scope change, if it's scoped in more, zoom. Like something like Cloud Strike, you get hit and you good luck hitting something. You're all over the place with that weapon. So I've seen a lot less people sniping because it's significantly easier to just be like, screw it, I'm just going to put on a shotgun and go shoot some people. And I felt like that. And I love sniping. And I've had a few matches where I'm like, there is no point in me even trying to snipe here. I'm just going to put on a shotgun and join in the fray.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's funny that I remember there was somebody on the show that liked it better. This was early on, so I don't know if they kept that opinion, but some people liked it more. But
sounds like the kind of crazy ass shit True Vanguard would say.
Yeah, it probably was TV. You know what? I think it was TV.
It probably was TV, right? I will say this is 100% needed, because just getting flinch sniped by someone that you just shot a whole pulse into, or a whole pulse rifle shot into it, and they just easily dome you. Like, that's just stupid. Like, there's no penalty for that. So I think it's definitely needed in there.
And here's the thing about snipers, though, too, is that snipers are the biggest whiners in the Destiny community. So anytime they nerf them, it makes me happy inside.
Let's check out the YouTube comments and Briar, Control F Briar after this episode. I can't wait to see it. I was going to say Go ahead.
It is funny how they're like, sniper usage has gone down. Also, fusion rifles are really low in usage. What's left? Grenade launchers.
Sniper rifles have gotten kind of rare, so we're going to nerf them.
So
I'll tell you. Okay, so this is my like thought, just general thoughts about it. I wouldn't mind this if along with it there was some type of special ammo change, like maybe scavenger perks don't work in Crucible or something was done with shotguns. But there are significantly more shotguns being used. And significantly less snipers being used since the change that they already did. So I'm just a little confused why we're pushing people away from snipers again. I'm probably pushing more and more people into shotguns. And it's already, you can run around with a shotgun, pick up at least 2 bullets every single time you run out of special ammo. You're in their face, so you're always picking up special ammo. You do not need to switch to a primary ever.
Doesn't stasis kind of like help you in your shotgun journey? It kind of like stacks it, right?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Freezes things. It's like, here you go. Easy kills.
Yeah. I was thinking, I just wanted to finish the last point about, this is about ADS flinch, which I get will push people away, and that's concerning, but I agree with Taft where I'm like, good. I hate that scenario. Why am I shooting them? And they just snipe me anyway.
Dude,
like,
so dumb.
It's not fair. It's definitely not fair.
I totally get that. Yeah.
Yeah. But the counterpoint that you had brought up is, there's multiple there, actually. Maybe shotguns need to be fixed, or who knows what's going on. But if the zoom changes and the ADS time and that stuff needs to be addressed, well, hey, absolutely that should be changed and fixed. So maybe that would help. The changes that they made, maybe they need to touch up a bit more instead of just piling this one on top first. But yeah, I don't have a problem with this change. It sounds like what we're saying is we have a problem with where snipers are at. I don't snipe as much.
Actually, I think what Watts was talking about is like, you can basically run around the whole match, 95% of the match with just a shotgun out and not ever have to worry about ammo.
Yeah. But the question is that because of the changes to snipers they made with Shadow?
No, I think that's because shotguns are so good.
It's
independent
ammo.
of snipers.
Yeah,
But
it's
meaning, was it
especially
like
in
that way
economy.
before Beyond Light? Watts? Do you think?
There's less snipers since after Beyond Light,
Yeah.
for sure. That's
And yeah,
like my
it's-
only observation.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't remember that they buffed shotgun, so it probably has to do with those changes to the magnification and some other stuff. So, I don't know. Meaning they could probably still bump it up, but
I gotta
just
move
wanna
on
see what it
because
plays like.
we got a lot more to talk
Okay.
about. Plus,
We
Twitter
do.
questions are lit this week.
All
so I
good.
want to get to those too. Swords are extremely dominant in PvE. At this time, 65% of players are using swords for the majority of gameplay encounters in Destiny 2. While we are introducing a buff to rocket launchers to make them a bit more enticing, we feel that swords do too much damage compared to other options, so they're reducing damage by 15%.
Oh,
I don't mind
and
it
not
that
just the
much.
sword that we all know that needs to get nerfed, but all swords.
Yeah.
Are you lamenting this change, Tefty?
They're
I
like, Lament is a
expected it.
huge problem. 65% of people are using Lament, so we're gonna nerf all swords.
Swords are
expected
dope.
this.
It's fun to use them, and it's more dangerous to use them than a rocket launcher, unless you are constantly hitting the wall right in front of you with a rocket launcher or the girder or whatever.
Mhm.
Swords should be doing more damage because it's more risky to use them. There's a risk-reward ratio there, right?
Yeah. Yeah, the problem
I
with
don't know.
lowering
It's
the
fun
damage.
to use them too, man. You feel badass.
Yeah, you do. The problem with lowering the damage is that you get to a point where it's just not worth it.
Yeah.
15's not a terrible amount, though.
They're still gonna be really good.
Lament is insane. And remember, it was already nerfed, wasn't it? Right? They already made a change to it. A little,
they?
didn't they? Am I dreaming? I swear that after it came out, there was some change to it already. And so I could, okay, help me out, chat. I swear it was already like right after it came out. Oh, they said it was the guillotine got changed, but Lament didn't get any change. I thought that there was an overall sword change. Maybe not. People are saying it's just
Guillotine got
I'll double
nerfed
back to it.
before Lament dropped, and then it was like, oh, well, they nerfed Guillotine because Lament was coming.
Yeah, okay, that's right.
I wonder if Guillotine is still going to be like relatively top tier
Yeah.
for Legendary.
That's
or if it's
another
gonna
good
get
question.
demoted.
It will be.
Yeah, but like rockets
I-
are getting a 30% buff. Is it going to be? Why would you not use rockets?
I'm hoping that this is more so a thing of in certain encounters we want to use rockets now, and certain encounters we're still going to use swords instead of just I'm going to do the entire raid with a sword.
Yeah, I'm concerned too. Like, to agree with the groan, I'm concerned at the same time. The Lament is insanely powerful. I agree with
Yeah,
you. The risk versus
15%
reward, especially on
not gonna
higher
be a
powered
problem now.
activities. I get myself killed all the time trying to like get to them. But if you do get to them with Lament, they're dead. So it's kind of I don't
Yeah.
know. We'll have to see.
Because it also
there's-
heals you too as you hit them.
There's a few changes to exotics and bug fixes. Some exotic weapons lose the buffs when you switch weapons, which is intended. They would also lose their buffs when pulling out your ghost shell, which was not intended. And they fixed that issue on the Ace of Spades, Teraba, and the Hawk Moon.
Nice.
Borealis and Hard Light now have a custom, very short animation for switching damage type, which is kind of neat.
I do like that.
Duality increased damage fall off distance by 1.25 meters, both firing from the hip and aim down sights, and reduce maximum buff stacks from 7 to 5. Each stack now grants more of a damage bonus, extended buff duration slightly. That's
I'm
nice.
excited about this. It's because
Yeah.
when I saw duality, I was like, that sounds like a gun I'm gonna really enjoy. And then I was like, oh, it's kind of just slightly worse than other shotguns, both slug and non-slug. So I'm hoping this makes it at least, a little bit worth really going in on and using it, because it's a gun that's really exciting. I think it's a cool weapon.
It is a
Yeah.
cool weapon. Yeah.
Sturm will once again reload any equipped special slot weapon on kill, provided the special weapons clip isn't full already and there's available reserve ammo.
Nice. Very
And they fixed an issue that was preventing Merciless from increasing its charge rate on non-lethal hits.
That's good, because
That's a
this has
big
been
one,
broken
actually.
for a long
Yeah.
time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and they canceled Crimson Days. Anyway, you guys want to do Twitter questions?
Crimson SPMN.
Crimson Days, just real quick, we don't need to go in on like philosophical debate about
No.
Crimson Days is no longer going to be a thing. Their reasoning for it is they want to maintain focus on alternate seasonal offerings ranging from quests to activities and more. We have quite a bit planned for Season of the Redacted, and our hope is that we've maintained or even improved the quality you've come to expect from this release. They're hyping up this release. They're making it sound like there's like a lot of stuff in this release that we're going to be doing. So,
yeah.
I'm hoping that there's something that flat out replaces Crimson Days, like as a seasonal event this season. I think I'm the only person I know that actually like Crimson Days. I like the having the one teammate, like the 2-on-2 combat. I thought it was fun. I know it was like wildly unpopular viewpoint, so I don't really have a leg to stand on, but I did like it. Like a couple of years that I did compete in it heavily, I had a great time because it was just like one teammate, just me and that person, like alone trying to take on the competition, and it was kind of fun in that way. But
yeah, I mean, it's the reasoning behind it. Like, I think they like it too, but one, as they admitted, they're like, honestly, we don't think we've done a good job of improving and maintaining it, right? Which is true. It's kind of just been brought back every year with like the same ghost or whatever. But to the previous stuff, would you rather they focus on the snipers and the sword fixes, or would you rather they focus on this? And I think that's probably where they were at, right? So I'm more than happy to skip it.
Like more seasonal offerings, I would prefer to just have more stuff in a season. If that's the trade-off, that's fine. I mean, I didn't really like Crimson Days anyway, but
it was never.
I totally understand. I totally understand people being upset that it's gone, though.
I just remember last Crimson Days.
Not like it's
had
completely
a lot of
useless, like the Sparrow Racing League.
We'll never see that again. Let's just accept it.
Twitter questions?
Fingers crossed.
Drive us along,
SRL.
man. You're doing a great job driving us along. I appreciate it, Brian.
Josh is a planet hopping Lombok says, what are your guys' thoughts on some form of weapon upgrading coming back, a la Destiny 1 with using XP to level up weapons?
This is a controversial opinion because a lot of people are like, well, then you just had to spend a bunch of motes of light and it was just like resources that you wasted. But I personally loved the fact that when I got a weapon in D1, it was a different weapon from when I actually had it fully upgraded. And I loved that RPG aspect of it, that I was investing time and resources into my gun that I got as opposed to printing it from some holodeck.
I did like it. I was always excited to like try a gun, like get a new exotic and try it out just as its base before you level it up.
Yeah.
And then be like, oh, well, this is a really good gun at its base. So I'm super excited to see what it's like when I get all of this. Of course, the downside of that was that you didn't get to actually use the exotic perk on the exotics right away.
Yeah.
So you didn't get to see how special an exotic was. But again, like with you, Tefty, I like heavy RPG stuff. So I just generally enjoyed it.
I felt like I had more of a bond with the weapon because, like Watts said, I started off with it in this base form, and then as I used it, it built in power as I got to know the weapon. However, that system completely fell apart for me, and I wanted nothing to do with it when our very first DLC came out, and we had to redo it.
Right.
So, like, if you had gotten a weapon in Destiny 1 launch, and then the first Dark Below comes out, and the first DLC comes out, and now you have to earn another one and level it up again. I was like, oh, fuck this.
Yeah, that was BS.
And that system, like, it was cool for 3 months when the game was brand fucking new. And then as soon as we had to start re-earning weapons, and now with sunsetting, I feel like it would be awful because they are reissuing weapons, and if we have to level up a weapon now and then it sunsets in a year, but I'm re-earning the same weapon and I have to re-level it up, I'm going to be very upset with that system.
So yeah, I agree on that stuff, but I don't think that's the issue of leveling up the weapon. I think what they could have done with weapon leveling is, instead of having it be tied to power level like they did in D1, it would be or light power or whatever the crap, it would be tied to effectiveness of the perks. So if you had a thing where it was like, first column unlocks effectiveness level 1, and then additional ones go all the way up to, like, say, level 5. So your actual perks for your guns aren't as effective until you've fully leveled up your gun. Like I feel like as an RPG perspective,
But you're still gonna do all that and then lose your progress when it's sunset, and then have to redo it when they reissue the weapon.
right? But I'm saying like separate those two issues. All right, just look at the weapons, getting a new weapon and leveling it up like an RPG to get it to its max power, like that.
Yeah, I like that until
Right. No, I get
it
that.
gets sunset.
Yeah,
like that's
the
the
sunsetting
problem.
throws a problem in there, and that was the same issue when the Dark Below came out. Totally get that. Like I think that's a kick in the nuts. But new weapons and the RPG aspect of Destiny really could use that element of like I'm now leveling up my gun and not just masterworking it. Like the masterworking is it's like a mobile version of that system. You know, it's like I just threw some XP into it or something.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's room for that across the entire experience. And it's funny. I was talking about Tarkov earlier, which is the insane end of that spectrum, but like literally everything from like running to get your sprint up. I mean, you're talking like hundreds and hundreds of hours to be able to have enough stamina to run regularly. But that's the extreme end. But like, imagine that. Imagine that the speed of throwing your nade and the effectiveness of your stasis was all on an RPG system. I definitely think as a game that's Destiny's in that sweet spot. I don't know how far we want to take it. And you definitely, I agree on the sunset stuff, man. You gotta, like, once you earn something, don't take it away. But I think it's missing is my point. I agree. I don't think there's enough of that. We're getting closer with mods. But then when you think about, like, where do we get RPG, sort of individual RPG level up stuff? I mean, really, other than our main power, where else is it?
Season pass.
I don't know.
There's
your level of like roll, but you don't level up your recovery. You actually get a drop with it, right? And so that'd be cool, man. I think it gives you more reason to play and do stuff. So hopefully that's where it's headed.
Axis says, with the season 12 coming to a close, it's been a few months since Beyond Light released. What are your final thoughts on the expansion and the season?
The season for me was, I think lore-wise, a really freaking cool season. But in terms of stuff to do, it was very, very light. You had this one thing that initially was cool, and I still think it's cool to hunt down things, but it's just the fact that it's so short. It would have been really cool if the actual hunting of this monster took a bit longer. But yeah, the seasonal content was pretty dry. The guns were good for seasonal stuff. This like friction fire is super, super good. Beyond Light though, I loved Beyond Light. I loved the raid. I loved the exotics that came with Beyond Light. Stasis has been super fun. So yeah, I really enjoyed Beyond Light, and the story of Beyond Light was really cool. But season, it's a little bit on the light side.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm in the same category with that as well. I think like Beyond Light overall was a good DLC or a good expansion. I definitely liked the raid. I liked Stasis. I liked Europa. Like I liked what they added with Beyond Light. In the season, was definitely light. Like it's funny because I remember playing the hunt and I was like, oh, that's cool, and then I never did it.
Yeah,
after that,
exactly
I was like,
the same.
Because it's the same thing. It's the exact same
Yeah.
thing, and
There wasn't much depth.
there was no pull, and I think Destiny is having a big issue with that lately. For me, yeah, I mean, other people might not have a problem with the pull at all, but like for me, I'm not getting a pull of being like, oh man, I need to go and acquire this stuff, or I need this stuff in the game. I feel like its majority is the same stuff, and with the whole sunsetting, and now they're going to bring back stuff from what was the previous one? The
Arrivals.
Yeah.
Oh, prismatic.
Like the
engrams.
Yeah, the stuff from the Dreaming City and from Eris. I
throw out words.
It's not enough for me to make me want to like go and clamor after those weapons. I know there's going to be some different stuff coming, but I feel like for me the pull isn't quite there, and I feel like that's what the seasons are kind of missing right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I totally agree with that. It was just like, I think we see this all the time. Like the seasonal release tends to be a little thin after the main expansion launch. And so, yeah, I really like Beyond Light. I like the way they packaged up and the pacing of the main campaign. The raid was freaking awesome. The weapons in the raid are awesome, and the pull to go there is really good. But then if you were to compare Rivals, where you're trying to get an awesome falling guillotine, and therefore doing the, what were the events called that you actually did to get your umbrals and all that? It's like the pop quiz of many years of Destiny. But yeah, the contact events. Thank you, Domas, Truth in chat. So doing contact events and getting that, and you could get them everywhere. But I played a Rival so much more than I expected because I was trying to get awesome rolls on a bow, on a pulse rifle, cold denial, right? Like the sword. It was amazing. And that, if you really just look at it in the new season, you're like, what would I be chasing in the new season, weapon-wise and mod-wise? So it didn't really have it. But I will say, of the new season, like Watt said, I like what they did with the story, and seeing like the cutscene recently. Every time we get that, I'm like, I hope the day comes when they have a cutscene team that, as these 10 weeks progress or whatever it is, a few times we get more and more of that. Man, that's just going to be an amazing day if it comes. So I like that part of it.
Yeah.
I really agree with everything you guys said, but I think like the story of the season has been sunsetting, and I think that thing across the community that system really flopped, and I think they need to address it really soon.
Yeah.
The community is really not happy about it.
Yeah, I'm excited for 13 though. Yeah, it seems like usually
lucky number 13. Here we come.
Yeah.
Well, the biggest
We'll
issue
see.
is that they're fixing like some of the holes of sunsetting with bringing back weapons that they just sunsetted. It's like,
Yeah.
it's a slap in the face. And I get that there's going to be different things for those weapons. It could be different roles and all that. But like, for me, that leaves a sting. I'm like,
Rob says, recently watched the Houndish vid. We haven't had him on forever. And it got me thinking about Wish 15. What if Mara is the key to reaching the Vault of Glass from the Ascended Realm? As lore experts, I think we can say that doesn't make any sense, dude. Like, really think about it. Think about it for a minute.
Think about it from a lore perspective.
Yeah,
of
now
the
you see it. Now you
information
see
we know. Now you understand. Absolutely
I would say
ridiculous.
Wish
Couldn't have said it
15,
better
I think,
myself.
is just a meme wish. It's probably some silly like cats dancing in the game engine.
Cats dancing.
Sonic NG23 says, with so many franchise crossover events in games, Fortnite, for example, what boss from what video game would you like to fight with your Guardian? His suggestion is Alma from Ninja Gaiden Black. So any boss from any video game, you get to whip their ass with your Guardian. Who's it going to be?
I'm going to take down Abby from Last of Us
Abby.
2.
Oh, damn. That is going to be a one-sided fight.
Abby.
Are you kidding me? Have you seen those guns?
Still, doesn't actually have a arsenal at her disposal.
She's got brains. All right.
Can't jump 18 feet in the air or use supers.
She can make traps, mines.
I'm trying to think who's the hardest, because I feel like our Guardians are pretty powerful as far as video game characters go.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I'm trying to think who was the hardest boss fight I've ever had. Like, who's just been a tough as nails boss?
Oh, it's the Souls games, easily.
Wait,
Yeah.
what's
Oh, I feel like I'd crush any Souls boss with my Guardian. Just hopping around, hitting them from 18 feet away in the face with a sniper rifle. Like, that boss is going down.
Until they got some sort of like, white mechanic or something, or like some far-reaching, like now fire's covering everything.
Dude, I'm doing like 30,000 damage per shot. It's like one person with a pulse rifle, and the boss is going down.
Yeah, it's fun. I know we're supposed to come up like with a funnier answer probably. But I was thinking like serious. I was like, I wonder if there's something from Halo that would be kind of cool to get in this world.
Like a
just
scarab?
for the sentimentality, like some elite. I was trying to remember if there was a particular, boss in there that would make sense. But the one that actually comes to mind, because I've always used it as an example of how I want raid bosses to feel, and we've gotten a little bit more of that, is Quadraxis Prime in Metroid Prime. It was like this huge, like spider boss. You had to like roll up and get inside of it and plant
Oh,
bombs. It was
yeah.
like it's the Zelda,
That's
boss
cool.
design. And I was like, oh man, just add that. I mean, other than I don't know how I'd roll up into a little morph ball to get up inside, but
You shoot
it would
fighting
be-
lion. Hold the
yeah,
trigger.
you shoot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you nailed it. You could I love that.
I think
Oh,
so.
but
I
now it
always
immediately explodes on impact, actually. So
It's
Yeah.
true. It makes it
this will
easier.
work.
Boss fight. Easy peasy. I was thinking like stuff for Monster Hunter, of course, and I was thinking Namielle because her little like water that she shoots out, Guardians would have to like jump over it, and that could be a really interesting fight. She puts water everywhere, and you can't like move properly anymore. It could be really fun. I'm gonna go with
Yes.
Namielle, and her armor
Crossover.
would be the best in any Destiny game ever released.
Do you actually carve her after killing her?
Yes.
Oh hell
In
yeah!
Destiny? Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
That'd be cool.
With the
I wonder.
guillotine.
Yeah,
My
you-
lament.
VHRP says, if you could ask one question to any character in Destiny, dead or alive, what would it be, and who would you ask? What would you ask a Destiny character?
Cade, I'd ask if he wants to get some noodles. Go get some ramen.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
That's just nice. Nothing very like. there's just
I would
an
ask the
act of
chicken,
kindness.
where did Cade touch you?
The Colonel?
What? Oh my! Oh my God! What?
Do you have any tea
No.
to spill on Cade?
Oh. Maybe I'd ask Amanda Holiday. What's up? Well, what's your deal? What's your situation?
What's your deal?
Are you okay? You don't really do much anymore. You're like a prime gaming vendor.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah, what's up with Amanda?
Just
Got nothing
what's her
going on.
plans? What does she want in life? What's she trying to achieve? Just
Is SRL coming back?
I would
Yeah,
ask her, do you want
Yes,
SRL to
RL.
come back? And she'd say, no, I don't.
I would probably ask Atheon. I'd be like, how mad were you that people kept pushing you off that freaking ledge
Oh, yeah.
over and over every week? Like, what level of anger
Yeah.
was there? So
Did Athia have it worse than Crota? Because Crota had remember pulling the cable
Ethernet,
out of
yeah.
your Ethernet
I
cable?
thought of that one too. I was like,
Which
That's
one is
just
worse?
cheating.
Who had it worse?
That's straight up cheating.
you know what? Maybe we all need to get some noodles with them. Sit down, talk it
Let's
out.
get all
Honestly,
the bosses together.
Listen, I think at this
I'm gonna
point,
guess Atheon is in a good hang.
You know, like,
at this point, I honestly think Riven has it worse with people just trimming those nails
Yeah,
so quickly and easily. I think that's worse than getting pushed
True.
off the ledge.
yeah.
Be
I
like,
don't
hey,
know.
yo,
I
Riven,
feel like
you're a bitch.
the pulling the Ethernet cord was bad though.
Oh yeah.
He didn't have a
But
chance
it was
to fight.
bugged. But
It was.
also he was
That's true.
cheating.
He was cheating just as much as we were.
What are you doing?
He
Why did he
did.
get
He
up?
did break
He,
into
oh,
that
he
room.
warped over here. What's happening?
oh, that was great. When he just started walking into the room where you thought you were safe, that was
Yes.
a good time. I want
Good
more raid
Lord.
bosses to do that.
That was like in Resident Evil when Mr. X like busts through the door. It was the exact same feel. You're like, whoa, what the?
Yeah.
Run,
You guys, you remember there's times where the knight above, the invincible knight upstairs, would sometimes get teleported down into the crystal
Yeah.
room, and you're like,
Yeah.
now this asshole's running around invincible.
It
I
had
love
so
that
many
stuff.
little-
There was all sorts of random shit happening in that room. The knights that you had to kill would just disappear. There was also the people shooting No Land Beyond for 5 minutes at the start of every round.
Yeah. Mhm.
I don't remember what that was for. What?
That was to get ammo. So if you use
Ammo.
No
Oh, yeah.
Land Beyond, yeah.
Yeah, killing the knight. I would do. I did. Oh, No and Beyond was the way to do it. Huh? I don't remember.
I want more bosses and mini bosses just to be like, screw you, and just go all up in your safe space and make you feel scared and uncomfortable.
Yeah, can we have more bugs, please? That was fun.
Bugs are fun.
Ishka YouTube says Bungie can only bring back one more exotic from Destiny 1. Which one do you take?
Only one more. Exactly.
Only one.
Drake's promise, 100%.
Watts, as usual, is correct. Bring back the Uber Tuber.
I think we need the Fabian strategy.
Fabian strategy.
That is the wrong answer.
It's definitely the wrong answer.
Aren't you a Titan, Briar? No way. Then my bad. You're a Warlock.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be Plan C for me. Absolute.
Plan C is
Especially if they're
legendary.
fixing
Fran.
fusions.
It's a legendary.
So, Plan C? What are you talking about? It is absolutely not. I was gonna say the Vex, but nah, that's an easy answer. Definitely Plan C.
Oh, the Talala
was so fun.
would be really good.
Mamba number 24 says, as customers, do you think we have received more / better things when Bungie was under Activision or no?
Hey, this is
We
your
talked
question.
about this a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think that's defined well enough, because we got more content because there was like 3 studios working on it.
Yeah. So yes, we got more stuff for sure.
But if it seems to be implying direction from them being independent versus being overlorded by Activision, to which I would say no. I think we absolutely are getting better stuff, better decision making as an independent because they can move faster. There's less friction, in making decisions.
I mean, just look at Destiny Reddit. They're so much happier now than they were just 2 years ago.
True.
They're making money. They're happy. Get those big stocks. Mr. Dove says, what changes would bring each of you back into the Trials playlist, playing on a weekly basis?
People playing the playlist.
Yeah.
Humans playing playlist.
Yeah, healthy
No
population.
Robots. Need to get more people who cannot go flawless every week in the playlist because that's the only way you're going to get them in there.
They need to completely eliminate cheating for me to be playing in there.
Yeah, it's eliminate cheating and get way more people in there.
Let me tell you,
a better
cheating
chance.
is not nearly as bad in Trials right now as all just the fact that you only play against people that charge X amount of money for the run that they're currently doing.
So account recovers, which is also cheating.
Yes.
There's it's just you're
right?
fighting. Oh, it's bad, man. It's real bad. There's no just people being like, hey, I got like 2 hours. You want to hop in Trials, try and see how far we get? There's none of those people in the playlist anymore. You might find a couple if you play for 6 hours, but there's not many.
I was saying before, I think the biggest problem with that is in 2015, the option was like, play some Trials. In 2021, the option is Apex, Tarkov, Fortnite. Like, how many other options for PvP are better than jumping into Trials right now?
Also that. But yeah, I mean, the cheating has gotten so out of hand. And I was just thinking, as you guys were saying it, though, they've brought it to a point where we were so excited to finally get it back in its original form, and it got overrun with cheaters and other problems. I worry that it's like in a position where it's like, dude, they just need to get rid of Trials as the name now because it's now been sullied so bad. Nobody trusts it. Like, how do they get you to try it again without feeling like you're just going to get stomped on by bots and recoveries? And I really loved Trials. I played so much on Destiny 1, so I really would love to see them nail it, but it's just not for me right now.
Alex Ziggy, the giver of gifts, says, new Hawkman mission. Wait, when's Tefty doing a music stream? When's Briar doing a beer tasting stream? When is Watts doing a best edible stream? Can we get all this all mixed in one and call it wholesome mental health with lo-fi beats?
Yes.
This is
Sounds
like
like
the
a
greatest
plan.
idea I've ever heard.
This. Can we do it while playing Sea of Thieves?
Yes.
Yes, there's a new season for Sea of Thieves.
Season pass now, yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds like a
this
beautiful
idea.
stream.
That sounds fun and amazing.
Not really a question, but I just loved it.
I want to put this together now. I would like to take you up on your offer. I want to go sailing the 7 seas while we're eating special candy and Briar's talking about beers.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I don't know if
While
you're
trying to blow us up with TNT.
With Tefty's giving us those beats. It'll be great.
as long as you're
We
not
gotta think of a
sampling.
job for
Peach
Fran. What's Fran
candy.
gonna do?
Fran's got to do something. Guy, everyone in chat.
Jester.
What would Fran be doing?
Hair
Fran
products
is going to
adjustment.
be showing us how comfortable his Herman Miller chair and desk are.
That's right.
It's going to be moving his
The whole
desk up,
time.
moving it down.
That's
moving
right.
it up.
A little more, a little change. Wait, dude, that's what we should do. For next time I'm on the show, we'll talk about what my role is in Sea of Thieves.
Yeah.
Maybe you just
get back to it.
constantly combing your hair.
Yeah, I was going to say hair
Constantly
product
And doing
advice.
like
No,
finger guns after. Do a little finger guns.
Yeah, I could
after.
do, since it is like there's mental health care, it could be focused more on like, your skin care and hair care and
skincare is important, man.
yeah. Oh yeah.
This
many
sounds like a
exfoliate?
great stream.
Gotta moisturize, motherfucker.
How many step regime you got before you go to bed?
That's right. I mean, revealed on the next stream.
All
You
right.
gotta watch you have to watch us play Sea of Thieves. if you wanna
TBD.
Tune
find
in.
out what
I'm
microdermabrasion product you should use next time at 10.
Spencer Armsworthy says, "Hey guys, love the show. I always loved how you did. Always loved the how did you start streaming playing D2 questions for the guests. So my question to all of you is, how did you start streaming, and what got you into Destiny 2? Also, sorry if this has been answered before numerous times. It probably has been, but I
Been a
bet
long
not
time.
in
I
a
think it's
long
been a
ass
while.
time.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
So I played Destiny 2 because I played Destiny 1, and I played Destiny 1 because I was just interested in it. It was one of those games that was coming out, and I was like, huh, interesting. And I was able to get into the very first alpha, and I freaking fell in love with it. And then I've just been
Same.
around ever since.
Yeah, I was a content creator for Destiny. I had come off of Call of Duty. I didn't like that
Same.
year's Call of Duty, which was, I
hated
think,
it
Advanced
too.
Warfare.
Yeah, but sure was.
But I fell in love hard with Destiny 1, so I just switched my channel over to being like, I'm in love with Destiny, so that's what I want to talk about.
That's
And
exactly what I
Planet
did.
Destiny, kind of early on in Destiny's life, said, "Hey, do you want to make some videos for us?" That morphed into the Planet Destiny podcast, which then morphed into, "Hey, we should do a stream." And I remember my first stream for Planet Destiny, there was like 500 people, and I was so fucking nervous. But that's how it's that was the short version of the journey so far.
Yeah, I started in 2014. I wanted to get into YouTube, and then Destiny came out, and I was already a Halo fan, so I was like, I was gonna play Destiny because Bungie, and then yeah, I was unemployed at the time as well, so it kind of worked out, so I could spend time playing the game just ridiculously, like a ridiculous amount of time in Destiny, but also then I think the first video I made was the loot cave that happened because my buddy was like, "Hey, there's this loot cave, you need to check
Toxic.
it out." Yeah, toxic, exactly. And so I was like, since I want to get into YouTube, I should probably do that. So I made a video about that. Then my next video, I think, was like, Vex Mythoclast, because I had got the Vex to drop pretty early. And then
Those were the days.
and then that got me into making weapon reviews. And then Planet Destiny was like, "Hey, do you want to make weapon reviews for the site?" And I was like, that seems pretty cool. And then that led into, like Briar was saying, streaming. And then I realized that I enjoyed streaming more than making weapon reviews. And so I focused on streaming. And then there it is. The rest was history.
Nice. Yeah, it's crazy to think that it's like almost 7 years ago now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I for those who don't know, I was at IGN many years, and so when Destiny came out in alpha, I was already super excited. A lot of people around the office, Halo fans, talking about it. But I just personally have always been a huge fan of Bungie and their work. That's what Bungie brought to it, is just unbelievable AAA quality. And remember the initial teaser and all that. So it was just generally hyped. But once we got our hands on the alpha, there was this like small group of folks, Destin and Jose and Alfredo and a bunch of other folks, CJ, all that. I don't think he was at IGN yet, but he was playing. But anyway, so this group just suddenly bonded, and then you're just hanging out with your friends after work, playing it all the time, and I just was like obsessed with it. So spent a ton of time doing that, and then I don't think I started streaming. It was about 5 years ago, like legit streaming. So I forget if that was, it was a little after I think it launched, around Trials maybe is when I decided to start streaming. And I forget why. I think it was more just I wanted to like understand. It was part of my job. I did video at IGN, and I knew what live streaming is. We did it every day. But as a creator, I was like, why do these people watch when you can just watch a YouTube video, And I was like, what is it? And you find out, of course, it's the community above all, I think.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so I started just dabbling, and then I realized I loved doing that too. So here we are.
Nice.
Wispapedia says, probably already talking about season challenges. So what's one challenge that you would absolutely never complete out of spite if it were added to the game? Out of spite.
Getting to the
what would you
lighthouse,
not
maybe?
do?
Yeah,
I would
probably
do that out of
trials.
spite. Out of ability, I couldn't do that.
No, I mean, to be fair, out of ability, probably too. Whatever, TV and friends will carry me, right?
Yeah, I'm sure I could put
Without a
together a
spite.
team, but like, I just have no desire. I'd be like, no thanks. When it comes to trials,
If there was a
I don't-
challenge that said
I-
like win 100 games of Gambit, that would be.
I would do that.
I'm not
first
doing
week.
that.
I would knock that out
Dusty would.
immediately.
They're so much faster now, so it's a lot easier to do. But I don't know, like truly out of spite, I don't think I would ever do something just out
Yeah,
of
I
spite.
don't.
But
I don't really have an answer for something that I wouldn't do out of spite.
what's like the most? It sounds like another way of asking, like, what is the most boring task that you would hate to do in Destiny?
Oh, I know. Go and pick up planetary
Yeah.
materials.
Yes, I was
about
just
to
thinking it
say,
as I said
yeah.
it.
You
If it
have
was
to
like
go pick
collect,
up
you know,
1,000. Yeah,
Yeah.
1,000 EDZ
spin metal.
shards.
Let's just
whatever
bring it
crap.
back.
Oh god.
Do you remember how
yeah.
devastatingly
another video
boring
I
it
made.
was when you were trying to
Really?
get the D1 swords and you had to pick up all the materials and like
Oh,
every
God.
now and then the thing you needed would drop and it took some people like a really short amount of time.
Dude,
Some
Yeah.
people were running around for like 5 hours.
Remember when you had to
You-
wait for a specific public event to drop?
Yup.
And for some people, it would be the first one. And for some people like me, it would take like 6 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, new players don't understand the pain of going just to the edge of the zone and getting it to like respawn stuff and back and forth and
Yeah.
back and you're like, oh, it's the worst.
Yes.
Like waiting for the area, the zone name to pop up and turn around and what's the fastest way to do it? Oof.
Anon BTRD says, with the glorious addition of Retro Slot Podcasts, what type of show do you think would be added to your roster next? Love
Beer
all the
tasting.
shows. Oh,
I think it's one where it's what could we call it? Doing dope with DCP.
DCP's wild ride.
Doing dope with
DCP.
DCP? What?
But like
That
but it's just
sounds
Briar being drunk.
awesome. The name.
If only Pope was still on the show, it'd be like doping with Pope. You know?
Doping with soap. Great. Yeah, it's like this person said before, we're just gonna have a show where we're all slightly intoxicated with something. Where we're
Yeah,
reviewing. Briar will
that's-
be reviewing a beer that day. We'll be reviewing some other things, and we'll just talk and hang out and laugh about things.
That sounds
Yeah.
pretty good.
That sounds fun.
It sounds like it's the RC of Thief stream, basically. It's
Yeah.
Well, that's the
This
thing.
dude, see, that's one of my
Yeah.
favorite things to do. Is when we stream Sea of Thieves,
We gotta
it's
get
always just fucking laughing the whole
Yeah,
time.
we should do it all
Well,
the time.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Not everybody's laughing, but you know.
I'm
You're
laughing
laughing.
for you.
The good news is the viewers are all laughing, no matter where they're
I'm
watching
kidding.
from.
I love crashing into
You
the
know,
island
I am a
over and
professional
over again.
at parking the ship.
You gotta pay your what is it? Pay your
Professional.
dues or what do you
It
say, Tech? You
was,
gotta
if
pay
you're
your
not, what was it? If you're not making holes, you're not parking right or something.
Well, you said that no, but every time we had to pay the fee and patch
You
it
have to
up
pay
with
the
wood.
fee.
Yeah, it's
you know.
parking.
but I think
So
you
gotta
gotta-
pay. You gotta pay
Parking.
parking
Yeah,
fees.
parking fee. Maybe that's
Yeah.
what it was. Yeah, paying a parking fee. God, I hate
How
it.
you gonna park for free on an island? Come on, man. Pay up.
You don't park. You just you swim on shore. There's no parking spot. Don't crash the ship.
Sounds
Alright, we
like
gotta
we're
do
playing
it next
Sea
few
of Thieves
months.
soon.
We got
Dude,
that
you
parked
launched it. Yes,
right up on the island.
you launched it.
All
dude.
the holes were like, there is no water coming in because it is on
Was
the
it the
island.
same time that Briar detonated a megaton like bomb inside of it and
It's probably the
pretended
same
not
stream.
to?
Something I would have done.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
I was probably locked below.
I had to go
drowning.
and hold the
Where's
anchor.
Fran?
I had to go and hold the anchor because you were always like trying to like drop the anchor before we'd hit.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
I'd be
not
trying
this
to, and they'd
time.
be like on the other side, like
Yeah.
stopping me from dropping anchor. Because I got wise to it. Because at first I thought he was just going to do it a few times, and literally it became every time.
It got funnier every time too.
You gotta
That's what
make
I
an
really
entrance,
appreciated about
right?
it.
At least we didn't lock you in the brig, friend.
Yeah.
No, you
we
did.
Yeah, we definitely
Oh.
did.
Yes,
Did
you
we?
forgot.
I really forgot.
Absolutely, you didn't.
I
watch.
completely
You
forgot.
did.
In fairness, I was very drunk.
Yeah. So, sure, that's an excuse.
Spez says,
Yeah.
"Can you ask me a question?" Here's a question, Spez. Who do you think you are?
Yeah.
Cobalt
think-
says,
gives you the
What
right?
gives you the right? Yeah.
We'll get
Let's
you the right.
say you each had bought 100 shares at GameSpot a month ago. What are you spending your earnings on?
GameStop.
Yeah,
I'm not spending the earnings. We're supposed to hold. We're holding the line. We're going to the moon.
Yeah, we're
you don't
sticking
sell,
it to the man.
You keep holding.
100
Yeah, we're
shares. Is that what we
sticking it
said?
to the billionaires.
That sounds like I'm just going to lose my money.
Bleed
No.
tears.
Now it's about the principle. Right?
Mm.
Wait,
We're
did they say 100
dismantling the
shares?
rift and eating them, I believe.
Briar?
I know that works
Yeah.
out for me.
100 shares. Yeah, which is
That
what?
could be like today. It might be $35,000, but capital gains tax. You gotta add in like McDonald's is all you have left in the for McDonald's. That's
Can
all
I
that's left.
can I renovate a
No,
bathroom?
you could, yeah.
All right, I'll do
I
that.
think you'd be. I forget if it
Can
would
I,
be as much.
more
as-
specifically, can I pay somebody else to renovate a bathroom?
doubtful. Doubtful.
We're just here to stick it to the man.
I'm probably
I
just gonna
would
buy some retro
legit-
video games then.
Now that I'm thinking about it, I forget what, depending on your brackets and capital gains tax and all would be. But I think looking at it, I would get the dopest, like, PC, setup I could, like the best monitors possible, the splitters, the second PC with the highest end stuff and the best SSDs. And that's, all the top rated stuff. And honestly, you'd probably spend all of your money. It'd be like $15,000 or something.
I
Brand,
could pay
you could easily
someone to
spend
do
$15,000
wire
on
management.
that.
I'm going to pay someone to come do wire management for the whole office.
That's a waste of money.
There you
In a
see,
month, it's
exactly.
gonna look like nobody was ever there doing that shit.
No, I don't change out that many things. It's just we have 4 computers in here, 6 monitors, 4 consoles.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Oh, I know.
It's-
I'm familiar.
It's difficult.
But it'd be a good
I gave
chunk
up a
of change.
long time ago. It would be nice to have.
Yeah, see,
Wire-
I like that
wire
idea. Pay some people to do some stuff. Yeah.
I really want. I got a closet in this room back here. I really want to set up like a rack of all the computers and shit in that
Yeah.
closet, and then
That
have a
would be
vent
nice.
that just
Yes.
sucks all the
Yeah,
heat
cool
up
it.
into the attic. I might do that.
Sounds like a fire hazard, and we all know that you are no stranger to almost burning your
Yeah,
house down.
fire.
So
This house
let's
is
just move on
pre-burnt,
from that
one would
idea.
say.
yeah, let's move on from that idea. Briar's gonna be streaming, and there's just like flames shooting behind him. It's like,
Don't worry
do-do-do.
about the fire.
It's not a gift this time, I don't think. William James Corwin says, out of the people on this podcast, which one would be the best Agent 47? Which would be the funniest Agent 47? And how would Agent 40... Son of a bitch, how would Agent 47 cook Briar? I think Fran
He
is
got
going to be
you
the
so bad.
best Agent 47 because he's the only one
I
who's
don't
going
know
to
about
follow
that.
the rules. He's going to assassinate. He's going to follow the mission structure to a T. And one motherfucker is getting assassinated exactly like a hitman should.
Yeah, maybe
True.
you're right. I
Brian
like to
will sit
improvise
there.
too.
He'll be there studying the routes. He'll make a spreadsheet about it. He'll be like, okay, security guard number 1. He goes around the corner at about 0.25 seconds,
Tactical.
and he'll be perfect.
Maybe.
Yeah,
I
I agree with that.
appreciate that, but it sounds so uninventive either. Like Tef's out there.
You know
I saw
the
his video
planning
review.
part of the A team where they just fast forward it? That's how Fran is going to spend the most of his time.
Listen,
I don't know how many people are going to get that reference. I barely did. That's pretty good.
so you know what Fran would smuggle into the kitchen because he's obviously smart about taking care of Agent 47 stuff.
What?
Cereal?
Some Briar jerky.
An abacus?
Some Briar jerky. That's what he'd smuggle in there.
Oh yeah.
That's a
True.
dark turn.
Definitely. Oh yeah. I wonder if I could just use like a roast Briar to assassinate somebody.
You could,
Like,
Oh yes.
just drop it on their head.
You
Boom.
don't even need the whole bar. You can just take a leg.
That's what I'm
smash
saying.
the
Leg
have
of
it be
Briar
a
into the
massive
kitchen.
hug.
Oh yeah. A Briar thigh.
yeah.
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 Do you
this
pacify
idea.
with a Briar thigh, or do you go all out and choke a bitch out with a Briar thigh?
You joke with the Briar.
Briar, how do you feel
I'll take
about
Briar's
this?
beard and use it to wire some
Briar's
people.
just like no comment.
That was kind of funny. I used Brian's beard.
That would be my wire for choking people.
Strangle with your beard. Yeah, I mean you have to. We haven't talked about it, I don't think, on the show, but you save everything. It's a good cook.
That's true.
Like, but
Yeah.
all the normal processes when you're gonna do a good Briar barbecue, you save.
You know how when
everything.
ninjas were taking like
I make a
sunflower seeds
disguise.
with them because they can have little snacks. Just take a Briar with you. You can use him for weaponry. You can use him for food.
Yeah.
These IRL pine.
You know what I?
It's perfect.
Yeah, I wonder if you could do like a
Yes.
taxidermy thing.
Remember when
with-
we used to make fun of like the Bacon Baby and 3D Doritos? Like that was
Bacon
so
Baby is
funny. Those
pretty
jokes were
morbid.
hilarious.
We still do.
Bacon
Blandy
baby.
McBlanderson says male black widow spiders. No, I'm not reading this one. Sorry. Lord Mira says
Yeah.
Like to eat briar?
Yeah, have a taste for Briar.
it's another it's another eating briar question. Lord Mira says, "Hello crew, any desk gadgets you recommend?" Also, Briar, don't cheat at Punch Out. Okay.
Desk gadgets.
You know, actually, so I have just a standing phone charger on my desk.
Oh,
And those are great to have on the desk because you can
That's
just
nice.
put your phone down, it's charging, you can see it if anything pops up on it.
I got one of them
That's-
too, but it's like it's actually the Wii. Remember the Wii controller thing? It's that thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But those are great.
Uh,
'Cause I was thinking like I got a bunch of cool stuff, but something that maybe is not related to PC or gaming or
Yeah. Or streaming.
Watts, is
Yeah.
it the MagSafe one? So it charges via the back?
Oh, that's nice.
yes, you can charge.
That's
yes,
nice. That's really
That's
nice.
nice.
it is
That's
great.
super nice.
I got this just like headphone holder, which
Oh,
is
yeah.
super cheap,
Yeah.
and you can like actually put your headphones on it.
Oh, well, them too.
Which honestly is like a super But see, that one's not bad. But they got the one with just like a little more form fitting, depending on the type of headphones you have.
this one
super
came
cheap.
free with a pair of headphones.
Yeah, that's the Astro one, I think, right?
Yeah.
But I recommend those because a lot of people you throw it on your desk, but you gotta take care of your headphones.
I have a little hook on the edge of my desk. that
Oh,
I can
that's
just-
nice.
Too, though.
Yeah.
Then you take up no.
I got a
space.
bell. That's
You get a bell? Oh, that's it. Garçon,
Garcon?
I need more sauce for my briar, please.
a tape measure.
Exactly.
Never know when you're gonna have to do a little dick
Oh.
measuring. You know what I'm saying? It's
Oh my!
nice to have proof.
That's why y'all need to watch the show. If you're listening,
That right there. We're not even gonna tell you what
Briar, that was
happened.
a
You gotta
brilliant
watch.
performance.
That
Brilliant.
was amazing.
Perfect. I love
I
it.
think like the only cool
I've started
thing.
using tape for wire management. I just use painter's tape, and I just
Oh no.
like if I got a cable that's like loose, like
That's
a
come
charger
undone.
or a headphone or something, I just tape it to the table so it doesn't fall off all the time. I always know where to find it, and it's really super easy to remove. You just it's just painter's tape, it just comes right off. That's actually been working out for me.
Nice.
It's pretty good.
I don't have any cool gadgets on my desk. I mean, I got a Stream Deck.
Yeah, stream decks are super fun.
Yeah,
They're
but
great.
like I feel like everybody has one of those at that point.
Yeah,
I
but they're
still-
fun still.
I still have the eggplant from Pope from last year.
Gotta keep that.
Oh
around.
yeah, that is cool.
That's-
I have a
that's pretty
stress ball
solid.
too. I like having a stress ball.
Yeah, you want to squeeze it? Yeah.
Something to
Mhm.
squeeze. Otherwise, idle hands. They say.
Yeah.
Controllers. It's nice to have a bunch of controllers around. I got a lot of
take
shit
those
on my
down.
desk because I'm really
Yeah.
ADD. Like I need
Yeah, you
shit to
might-
play with.
Tape some of that stuff down. You're getting distracted.
A multi-tool.
Amazing.
See, this is why Briar also comes with a bunch of gadgets.
Do you have
can
a
limit
workbench
he's got
in front of
gadgets and he's a
I
weapon.
got all sorts of shit in front of me.
That's great.
Do you have like a vice grip and like
A little
a,
rubbing alcohol.
a table saw?
Nice.
It's like I got a table saw over here. Zzzz. Like what? You doing a
That's,
little woodwork?
that's back there.
I get distracted easy.
I do.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
What is for Briar's reverse camera? Maybe I would be maybe scared to find out.
Mamelodon says, so with the new anime season in full force, now I propose a scenario. If the hosts found themselves in detention class together and they saw a book that, when touched, teleported them to their very own anime world, what kind of anime would it be? So we all are going to the same world? Is that it?
Briar, by the way, is big on anime now. He played 13
Huge.
Sentinels, and now he's like a fully
It's all in.
forward
Pretty much an
anime
expert.
super fan.
Pretty much an expert.
Yeah, I have no
13
idea.
Sentinels, by the way, like try and get over the fact that it's anime. It's actually like a legit, like amazing experience so far. I'm 4 or 5 hours in and I'm kind of mind blown about it.
Wow.
Yeah. Like not the type of game I would normally go for, but it was on so many game of the year lists that I just had to check it out. Wow. I'm impressed.
Dang, this is a tough call.
I'm just gonna go to the world of Horimiya. It's a new show this season. and then we're gonna kick the main girl out. We'll just replace me in there, and then I can be happy forever. Cause there's a boy in that show who is great.
Is this hentai?
No, but maybe it will be.
Can we pick hentai?
Yes. You could pick Euphoria. Maybe you'd be into that.
Yeah,
Well, that sounds good.
You should check it out, Briar, as a visual novel. That's yeah, check it out. Give me a review on Twitter. Oh, that's what we need. We need Briar reviews like hentai games, but he does it through like Twitter. It's a Twitter thread where he's like, all right, this seems pretty tame so far. Wait, what is he doing with acid? I don't really understand.
Whoa.
And then at the end, it's just Briar crying.
The thing I don't like about
all tears.
kind of the anime sexuality is it so often seems like underage kids. Like that's it's
There's
really creepy in that way.
There's a section of that exists for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna have Watts choose for me because I'm sure she'd do way better. But I was just thinking about Miyazaki, films, and I was like, which one would be sort of like the most beautiful? It always has like just a beautiful scene and dreamy, and
You like rain?
I like rain sometimes.
Okay.
Wait, there's no follow up to that. It's just like,
Well, with in Weathering with You, if you don't sacrifice the sunshine girl, you have rain all the time. So
You
if you
gotta
love
sacrifice
rain,
the sunshine, girl.
No, I
Everybody
don't
knows
want it
that.
all the time.
All the time.
I want like I was picturing like I
rain's
don't know if it was
great.
like Spirited Away or whatever, but or like the whole like rolling hills with the beautiful like skies, either pristine blue or beautiful sunsets. Like that's where I want to go.
I have no idea what anime.
You just pick a slice of life where it's just like people doing cute things, having a great time in a beautiful area. And you just pick that. It's great. You're like, oh, I get to be in a beautiful place and have a good time with friends. Wonderful. I'm going
Sounds
there.
awesome.
Is there any anime where they just make like awesome synth and all this music and stuff? Like, is that a place Tefty
Yeah,
could go?
is there like a
Probably.
music production anime?
Yeah.
I make
That
beats.
sounds
is.
good,
So
but I
you should
could
go
be
into
fucking a
Gibbon.
demon lady with a tail.
True. True. I didn't even get into that. I didn't want to reveal my true desires, but since we're talking about it, first of all, the tail thing is mandatory.
Colin Wheeler says, "What is the best pickled food?"
Best pickled food?
Yeah,
Kimchi. Does that count?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, kimchi's delicious.
Okay.
Kimchi.
Day one says, "Random question: How many times do you think a proper knocking on a door is? How many times should you knock on a door? What's the proper number of times? Do you have a pattern?"
Wait, I'm gonna.
3.
If I'm doing it,
Yeah, it's 3 times.
it's 4. No, it's 4. For me, it's 4.
4's not
Three
bad.
for me. 4's not
So I had
bad. It's 3 for me.
Practice it. Are you sure you only do 3?
Yeah.
Like you gotta
It must be
knock
slower.
long enough that it's that's a knocking. It's not just some random noise. Like I gotta be able to like geolocate the
Yeah,
sound
it
that I'm
depends on
hearing.
how aggressive
right?
of a knocker you are.
Like one knock is not good, right? Like what the fuck was that?
Unless you're
Yeah,
like,
one knock is
rah,
no.
rah, you know?
I was also so going to say, it really is circumstantial. It's also like, are you inside an apartment? Is it somebody's house? Do they know you're coming? Like, what time of day is it? Like, I am a strategic knocker, is what I would say. And so I kind of would,
Good
like,
point.
if they know that I'm on the way, I'm like,
if there's a
yeah.
fire, you knock a lot. You're like, knock loud and lot.
well,
But if
that,
it's just like
that's
you
an
know I'm
emergency.
coming, I'm hanging out. A couple
I think
of
that's
knocks.
banging
That's
on the
why
door you're
Odin
describing.
says 4 sounds like the police. You got to hit that
Briar's-
sweet spot where 3, it's like, yeah, I'm here. I'm not, there's no emergency. I'm not threatening you. I'm not just.
Yeah. But I was going to say, like, Watts, if, like, you were an apartment down, I'm like, oh, I'll be right over. I'm just going to pick up whatever. And I'd probably, like, you knew I was coming, so I'd probably just do 2 little light ones,
Yeah, a
little-
couple of light knocks if you know I'm coming. Like,
And then
especially
you
if I already
see-
buzzed. I already said, hey, I'm downstairs. Can you buzz
Do
me
they
in?
have pets?
And then I
you
come
know?
up and I knock. Quick knock.
Yeah.
Right.
Is somebody work like a night job? They're asleep during the day. There's so many factors in knocking people. You
Really?
it's not just one knock. Let's not,
Yeah, can we get
normalize
some
that.
follow-up day one?
Yeah.
I think so. I will say that I've noticed that delivery people, a lot of the times, is 2 firm knocks. Be like,
Yeah.
boom, boom. You know, I'd be like, whoa.
It's like
They
a troll.
definitely don't just
Yeah,
do
An
sounds
orc
like a
at your
troll.
door.
My delivery driver is like, "Duh-duh," and then he leaves. I'm like, that's
really?
a lot. It's like 5 or 6.
Too much knocking.
Frenetic.
Yeah.
That guy needs to calm down.
I'm really loud.
Hmm.
Yeah.
You know what you get on your door? You gotta. What if it was an actual knocker? We didn't even talk about that. You know, old school like
Yeah,
knockers where it's like clink.
I'm gonna
clink.
put a knocker on my door. I
That
Why
want
would
don't
be
any
cool.
silly bastards have doorbells anyway?
Oh,
I
we
have
do.
doorbell.
Doorbell, you
But
just
that
ding
wasn't-
People
dong.
don't use them.
Done.
But that wasn't
People
the
don't-
question.
where the
It's
hell do you live?
unsanitary to ring doorbells
Some
in the
people don't use
COVID era.
What?
It's weird.
Knocking, you can maybe go at the bottom of the door. No one's knocked down there.
Telling you, the
We'll
delivery
get a
people in my
knocker.
area hardly ever ring the doorbell. It is very rare for the doorbell to get rung, even though it's very plain sight.
Are
right there.
doorbells like a new thing out there? Is like is
No,
doorbells
it's
just come
for
to
whatever
California?
reason, people are like,
See, the doorbell's kind
Package
of
is
loud. Like
here.
I think. Yeah, I like that. You're gonna get a knocker, Watts?
Yes.
Yes, I'm down. I might get a couple of good knockers.
See that what I don't like about knocking on doors, it gets the dogs all excited, you know. But it's
Yes.
doorbell. I got the Ring doorbell with the video thing,
Same.
and it, you know, I see the person on my phone. You know, I know who it is. It's great.
that's nice.
Doorbell's the way to go.
Okay,
Google even knows who's there, so I got witnesses. It's awesome.
that's true. right.
Sass says, which unlikely movie, game, or TV show would you like to see a gritty reboot of?
A gritty reboot.
Wait, a gritty TV
High
show
School
reboot?
Musical? Real like gritty reboot.
Mhm.
You said of a TV show?
Drugs and alcohol.
Movie, game, or TV show?
Oh,
You know, it'd be an interesting gritty
or
reboot.
a TV show.
What's
Power Rangers.
that? Mm,
Ooh, yes.
like a
that's not a
dark-
bad idea.
A dark,
Go
like,
dark.
you know, yeah.
Yeah. Definitely.
Been a few hard drinking years for what's her name, Rita.
Rita's
Rita?
just like legit
all-
evil.
Actually, in reality, hasn't real life been a kind of a gritty reboot for the actors that were
Yeah.
in? Like, it's not gone well.
Yeah,
for the
you might
Power
be right about
Rangers.
that. Yeah, I feel
Oh.
like Saved by the Bell.
Yeah, gritty Saved by the Bell. There you go.
Reboot. So.
Zachary
Um,
Richardson says, "Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Fran."
No, that's it.
Okay. Zachary Richardson says, "Hello, everyone. My question this week: how fast do you think Breyer has driven mile per hour?" I usually don't single out like one person questions, but this one interested me because I've actually said this on the podcast, and I was wondering if anybody can remember it.
No.
The fastest you've gone?
Yeah, the fastest I've ever driven. I have actually mentioned that on the podcast, but I think it's been a long time, so I was curious if anybody can remember.
Triple digits?
Well, yeah.
Well, yeah.
Just, you know, trimming off the obvious.
120.
No.
That's pretty fast.
No?
Yeah, but Breyer has
slow?
Lamborghinis on racetracks.
True. I mean, now that I know it's triple digits, I'm gonna say 103.
The fastest I've ever gotten a Mazda was 120.
What? Where?
Breyer's
This
a
is
maniac.
So insane, dude. Do not drive that fast.
No, I got
unless you're
pulled
on the
over for doing
Autobahn.
80. Let me tell you, don't stop.
80?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the speed limit.
Like I've topped 90 on like a
That's what I
straight.
set my cruise control to.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you were on. I assume you were on like a freeway, Briar.
That would probably be incriminating.
Breyer was on a country road doing 120.
Take me
That is
home.
a terrible idea. Don't do that.
All right, well, I'm going to answer the question quickly and we can move on. I was on a motorcycle, a Kawasaki Concourse, and it was 180.
What?
And it was unbelievably
On a
fast.
motorcycle?
Yeah, if
Oh my
anything
God.
had gone wrong at
Yeah,
all,
seriously.
Yeah.
no doubt I would not be sitting here. But I
No.
just had to know.
Don't do. Don't be like Brian.
Also, I
That's the
make
lesson.
poor decisions. We've gone over that.
We
Hugo
just were
Rune
talking about you
says,
burning your house down a few times. Yes.
Hugo, that was my wife's.
Okay.
We're quite the team. Hugo Rune says, what film or play would you like to see reimagined by the Muppets?
Mm.
Muppet. Redoing.
Reimagined by them, or like
Yeah.
it's a Muppet.
Well,
movie or whatever?
it's a remake of an old movie,
The
but it's
Godfather.
now done with
All
with
in
Muppets.
Muppets.
I like it. I like that.
Muppet
horse.
Godfather would be
Godfather.
really good.
That would be really good.
Horse is
I
a
would
Muppet.
take it. I was thinking Taken, where
Ooh,
Kermit
yeah.
plays Liam Neeson. He's got a very particular set of skills.
This is such a great idea. I could
It
watch
is great.
so
Like,
many.
almost
of
any
these.
movie works.
It
Yeah.
does. I was gonna actually say Dark Knight though, is the one that. Came to mind.
Oh, that's a really
In
good
true,
one.
like true big.
Who plays
IMAX
Batman?
Format. I mean, it would still be the
Which
same. wouldn't it?
Muppet?
Just a puppet. All right, Muppet.
No. Wait, but which Muppet plays Batman?
Oh, see, I didn't understand it as that.
Oh,
I
yeah.
understood they were just Muppets. They're Muppets,
No,
but a
the
version of Christian
Muppets,
Bale.
not puppets.
No, I know they're Muppets, but it's they're
They're
imagining.
Muppets, not
It's the
puppets.
I thought
God
they were
damn it,
making-
man! Get it
they're
right.
They
making-
have names.
I thought that they're making their own Christian Bale Muppet.
No.
Not that.
I want
No.
I want the Muppets that we know
The
and
Muppet.
love to be the actors in the movie.
Okay.
So I want you to keep your idea because I love it.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
which
I'm there
Muppet
now.
plays Batman?
Oh my god. I gotta think about that for a
Fozzie
second.
Bear?
No, absolutely not.
Or that eagle dude with the eyebrows?
No, but you know, I was
saw-
thinking that one of
I
the
saw it in
old guys
chat.
in the theater there could be Gordon, so that works.
That works. I
I
like
kind
it.
of want to just put Miss Piggy in all of the roles because it would be.
I almost said Miss Pig because
Yeah.
I'd be like, that'd be awesome.
That would.
She would make a great Bane.
yeah.
Yeah, Piggy is
Oh,
Bane.
yeah, please.
Animal as
She would be
Batman.
such a brilliant Bane.
You would be.
I don't know, man. I got to think on it. I'll let you know.
Beaker as Batman.
Please no. The Swedish chef. You have to- like that'd be terrible. Come on, take it. It's the Dark Knight, people. Take it seriously, all right?
Triggerblade X says, "What's your favorite seasoning?"
Hmm.
That's a tough one, man.
That's tough because there's so many that aren't like the best on their own, but are amazing when you put them together.
Yeah, how you gonna single that
That's
out?
a good point.
Do you consider
What
salt?
about salt? Yeah, salt is definitely a seasoning.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like
think-
the go-to number one, isn't it?
I guess it is a generic seasoning. You're right. So
You
that
know,
probably.
Garlic powder.
That's a pretty good one.
I can always throw some garlic powder in anything.
Yeah.
Yes.
Give it a
Seasoning
little
is
bit
such
of a garlicky.
Such a broad term.
Yeah. Like I can't even eat oatmeal without garlic powder.
Yeah, paprika came to mind.
I was gonna say,
Paprika's
what do you salt? but
Cinnamon
would not put
paprika.
garlic?
Roasted cinnamon paprika.
Oh my
It's
god,
so
that
good.
sounds good.
It's great. But that's like multiple things put together.
hmm
Chipotle. I mean, they only invented that around 2000, and now it's in everything that you eat. So that one's pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, a boring answer, but I think it's salt. It's just like it's so
It's
useful.
a de facto
Yeah.
like flavoring.
Yeah, and it preserves your food.
Yeah. It's
Keeps the
multifunctional.
scurvy away. And Mike says, now that sea shanties are back again, DCP sea shanties sing along when? I think we got to do that on the stream as well.
Yeah, we do.
That's part of the.
Gotta
I
make
mean,
that happen.
Make that
That's
happen.
going to be Tefty making music. It's going to be Tefty making a sea shanty.
that's my
The-
favorite thing about 2021 so far. Is this the return
sea
of sea
shanty?
shanties into popular culture has been amazing.
We need to get
We
in
got to
on it.
practice the sea shanty so we can
Really
sing
do.
it while we're sailing the ocean.
I like it. I think that's a good idea. Good use of our time.
Yeah.
Last question of the night. Shit, that's not gonna be it. But I did skip a question up here,
Good.
so I'm gonna
Way
make
to
that
read
the
it
last
first.
question of the
Good job.
night.
Sounds like that was a safe move.
All right, that's it. That's all for the Twitter questions tonight.
Briar's thinking about what would have happened if he just read it without looking at it first. That I assume.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is a perfect ending, though.
Oh my goodness. Well, it's been
I thought that was pretty good round of Twitter questions.
It was, yeah. It was excellent.
Those were good. Good
Definitely
job,
good.
everybody.
Yeah.
Always a blast.
Yes. Well, thank you very much for hanging out, everyone. It's been an awesome episode of DCP Live, episode number 223.
Wow.
Well, indeed, yeah.
We are boomers.
Yeah. It's straight
are.
boomers over here. If you are a supporter via Patreon or Twitch sub, thank you very much for supporting the shows here on DCP. We really do appreciate it. All of the kindness and generosity is very, very much appreciated. So thank you guys. Fran, where can people find you?
Yeah, if you want to drop by, ever show some support, catch me on, I'm going to say Twitter this time. Just Fran Mirabella, my full name, right there on Twitter. Instagram's the same.
Nice.
What?
I was hoping we could just like have a stare down until someone finally
another
gives up
stare
and
down.
is like,
Just camera slowly zooms
Yeah.
in on each of everybody, sweating.
Wait, that did happen last time you were on, right? I think so. That a month and a half ago. That was the right. Fran, do you recall that last
the staring
episode?
contest.
Was I on that one? I don't remember
Right?
that. Maybe. I do. Yeah,
I think so.
maybe.
I think so.
I
yeah.
think so.
She's doing it. She can't tell if she's doing it now.
He already called my name. I can't do it now. I'm already next up. I already know. I missed 5,000 watts. I mean, I'm put a torch on YouTube. Just look for missed 5,000 watts.
Briar.
I am Briar Rabbit. You can find me on this podcast as well as the Retro Slot podcast, new podcast we're doing with Jay Sniperton, where we talk about old video games for the Nintendo Entertainment System, Super Nintendo, Genesis, that kind of thing. That's been a lot of fun. We're going to be playing Punch Out over the next few weeks. We're actually doing a little challenge to see who can get the furthest in Punch Out. I'll definitely be cheating.
You were told
Game
not
Genie?
to, and you said you wouldn't.
You don't get to tell me what to do. I can't beat Mike Tyson. He's too good.
The old games do cheat, so it evens it out.
Also, check out Firing Range. We got a new episode that was recorded last night. It'll go up on YouTube and the podcast services on Sunday morning. We try and get it out around 7 a.m. Eastern time. And Side Quest, where we got a ton of weird shit to talk about. We'll talk about, I'm sure, the GameStop stonks stuff going on. See if there's some kind of resolution to that. We'll also be talking about Medium, the new game that Watts can't play on her PC because her PC is not good enough. And
PC said Unreal Engine 4. No. What is this? Get out of here.
and I got a game I want to talk about called 13 Sentinels, which I think will be a lot of fun as well. So check out this show and all the others right here.
Awesome. And I'm Tefty Teft. You can talk to me at Teft on Twitter. I have not been streaming lately. I've been actually doing some YouTube content, getting back into that phase. And yeah, it's been good to take a break, you know, to like kind of think about content creation and moving forward in 2021 and all that. And I've definitely been enjoying doing YouTube content again. So that's been good. So if you want to check that out, search Tefty Teft. And I recently did a Hitman 3 review, along with the top 5 of 2020 review. Actually, I plan on reviewing Medium as well. So that'll be going up on there. So, yeah. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week. Bye, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.